Let's get nasty on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 201, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Cardinals sweep the Guardians in Cleveland over the weekend. Got a little hairy on Saturday. That was the only game that was really kind of nerve-wracking. Well, Miles Michaelis stunk, but we're not here to talk about the negative. Because it was a sweep. Sonny Gray with a near-perfect game.
You called it. Marshy mentioned that in the group. You did say when we were on the call with Wayne Randazzo that he got to call Albert's 700th and Sonny Gray's perfect game.
Yeah.
You almost had it.
One hitter.
Like foreshadowing.
I'm trying.
I saw that.
I'm trying.
How'd you do that?
I figured that Sonny Gray...
He was due? It was the due factor?
Was due. Well, he's been pitching well, and Cleveland can't hit. So, yeah.
That happened.
Great series. So, everybody came up with a couple of big takeaways from this series at large. Carey, what was your number one takeaway from the sweep of Cleveland?
You talked about Sonny Gray's performance. That was outstanding. The game on Saturday where they had to claw back into that game. Like this team, we've said it over and over again, they are in games. And I don't know, I can't tell you what the final product is or what the final version of this team is going to be in terms of, playoff run or making the playoffs, but they are fun to watch. And I think that's if you can enjoy what you're watching without worrying about the future, enjoy it. Because nobody knows what's going to happen, come August 1st. But just enjoy what you're seeing right now because it is fun to watch. This team is in every game, and they find ways to win.
Jamie, your top takeaway?
For me, it just what was obvious is that if you're the Cardinals and you really are serious about trying to make a playoff push, you need to get one more starter. Because when you've got Sonny Gray and Liberatore pitching the way they are currently, but that's it. It's kind of, Fetty is kind of, we're not sure. You're gritting your teeth when he's on the bump. Palante, there's good, there's bad. I mean, you kind of know what you're getting with him. Michaelis, here we go again, So when I look at the top end of the rotation, Sonny Gray, Matthew Liberatore, if you could get one more arm there, not only do you become a playoff contender, you give yourself a shot to win at least a round. And that to me is what was obvious, is you've got two guys that are way better than the next three guys.
Yeah, that was kind of my big takeaway, too. If Matthew Liberatore continues to pitch the way he has, I know he had a small bump in the road there for a few starts, but he's right back to being filthy. He threw 6+ scoreless innings, working out of a bases-loaded jam in the first, after he allowed 3 hits, but he had 5 Ks overall. If you have a 1-2 of Sonny Gray and Matthew Liberatore, that's pretty good. But it's really good. If in a short series, though, who are you going to next? It would probably be Fetty. And I realize we're projecting, we're going, kind of down the road here, and this is still a developmental season, for the most part. But with the way that those two guys are pitching, has it changed the viewpoint of the front office? Do they add another starter that's reasonable in terms of cost and it doesn't impact their future that much? That was kind of my takeaway. Marsh?
I think the biggest takeaway for me, and Carey has said this multiple times, to not get on the roller coaster. I think after the Cubs series, and we talked about it, man, dropping those last 2 games, it really felt like you didn't even split the series. But then you go right into Cleveland and you sweep the team. Something that the Cardinals have never done before, by the way. Never beat Cleveland 3 times, 4 times, whatever in a row. It's never happened. But they go in there. They looked like the better team. They look like a playoff team. They seriously do. Whether that's a wild card or a National League Central leader, who knows? But they look like a playoff team. The ability to bounce back. Certain players are starting to figure it out. Nolan Gorman hits a home run yesterday to start things off. Victor Scott, he hits a home run. Guys are starting to figure it out as the season progresses, and I think that's what the whole point of the season was. And for me, it's fun. It's fun to watch. Saturday, I even put it out on X, but watching, I believe it was the 6th inning. They were down 3 at the time, I believe, and they end up just kind of playing base to base. End up coming back, winning that game. Very good offensive execution in that 6th inning. the team's fun to watch. They really are. They're going to have their hiccups here and there, but what baseball team doesn't?
Yeah, it's a marathon season. The Dodgers are going to experience ups and downs, even though they're going to be the World Series favorite from here on out, or from really the start to finish. My second takeaway was, while they still have one game tonight, which is on June 30th, they survived the month of June. You look at it, they're 9 games over 500. That's a season high. They're winners of 10 of their last 13 games. Winners of 6 straight on the road. That's the longest such streak since 2021. We came into June saying this is going to be a rough month because they only have one scheduled day off. They had some other days off because of rainouts. But they had one scheduled day off in the month of June. How can they survive it? The Cardinals players and Oli Marmol and his staff did a sensational job of managing a really tough month where you're playing almost every day. So that was my other takeaway is you swept Cleveland, regardless of if you win or lose against Pittsburgh tonight. This is a success in the month of June.
It is a success. You should beat Pittsburgh, though.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, don't fall asleep here now.
One loss against Pittsburgh tonight doesn't change the fact that you survived June, is my main point.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? What do you think it would what would it screw up if the Cardinals in their third game against the Pirates pitch somebody different than Sonny Gray? Because he's scheduled to pitch the third game in Pittsburgh, and then Miles Michaelis is scheduled to pitch the first game against Chicago. How much would that screw things up? Like, because Ollie always talks about how giving Sonny Gray that extra day is good for him. You know, could you do a bullpen day? That third game against, like, it's the Pirates here. Like, what if Steven Matz started that game and went 3 innings and then you hand it off to, I don't know, whoever else? Like, work your way through a bullpen day because the next day is a day off. And then the first game against the Cubs, now at least you've got Sonny Gray on the bump instead of Michaelis.
Well, from a matchup standpoint, I love the idea. I don't know how much it does or doesn't
Extra
screw
rest
up.
Can't screw up a pitcher.
I wouldn't think so. Pitchers are, some starters are creatures of habit. So I don't know what Sonny Gray's routine is. You don't want to jack up his routine.
But when they go to a 6-man rotation, they're screwing it up anyway.
You're right. Yeah. So I'm just saying I don't know. Without knowing what the particulars are, I don't know. I don't know if that's you're screwing up something that we're not seeing.
You hate it. It's
but
fine.
your matchup idea, I think is great.
I know the idea.
I'd rather have him pitch against the Cubs.
The idea of what you're saying is makes sense, right? But wouldn't you want to just win that game against Pittsburgh? What's the difference between beating Chicago that first game, but then you drop the last game in Pittsburgh?
Well, but the odds are you're not going to drop that game.
Jamie's assuming you beat Pittsburgh even with a bullpen game.
Yeah,
that's where I took it. Yeah, but Marsh, you're right. I mean, the math is the math.
Like John King, he's proven he can pitch at least 2 innings. So if Matz goes 3 or 4 and you get 2 there, you're to 6. And now you're just in your regular bullpen at that point.
And plus, Sonny Gray didn't face Chicago in the 4 games.
That's what I'm saying. There's be 2 series in a row you don't get your best pitcher on the bump against these guys.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't think they'll do something like that, but I like your out of the box thinking, Jamie. I really do. Any other takeaways? Bigger takeaways, Marsh?
Not really. Like, this team just continues to prove the doubters wrong, I believe. They're not flashy about it, but they're winning games. Like, that's what we all asked for, was it not?
I think we're going to get this. Go ahead, Carey.
No, I was going to say, I like the fact that they're actually having more power. Like, we saw it in the Cubs series, not the last 2 games, but we've seen it over the last, I guess, week or 2. You're starting to have more power. And that, Nolan Gorman is a part of that. He's a major part of that. He's been hitting the ball.
He's been great in June.
He's been hitting the ball really well. So, for me, that was one of the concerns I think that you had. Where does the power come from? And I think they're starting to pick it up now, which is good.
One of my other takeaways is Gorman. This is one of those hot streaks, and I think we're going to talk about this a little bit later on. Can you accept the hot and the cold streaks from Nolan Gorman? Because this has been who he has been. In April and May, he was dreadful. He was dealing with a hamstring injury at one point. He was dreadful. And everybody's like, well, he's a bench player, trade him, get rid of him, don't want to see his face. Well, in June, he's hitting .267, 6 home runs, 16 driven in. He's completely rebounded. And you can't tell me he doesn't have value with the way he can put the ball out of the yard. I mean, 6 times in the month of June. How many of those games did you win? So I think, again, we'll get into this. We'll expand on this more. But can you accept the hot and the cold streaks with Gorman assuming there is a path for him to play, and right now there is because of the Jordan Walker and Ivan Herrera injuries, can you accept that is who he is? You're going to get stretches of cold and stretches of hot, but when he's hot, he's a difference maker.
With Nolan Gorman having like a resurgence and other players are stepping up, they're playing well. Does Jordan Walker have a role on this team?
He's been Wally pipped here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The way Burleson's been hitting the ball. I mean, Burley is an elite offensive bat right now for you. And his game defensively in the outfield has picked up tremendously. StatCast had a bunch of things up the other day just talking about how much he has improved out there and how much ground he's covering compared to where he was in years past. I mean, this shows that he's improving. And I know Jordan Walker's younger, and I know you got to get him some reps and all this stuff, but, you know, Gorman's stepping up and helping you win games. Burley's helping you win games. I just don't know. We might be past the point of, well, we need to get him reps anyways.
Yeah.
Like, if you're the organization, you might be past the point. You might go, you know what? We're right there, man. We're 2.5 games out of winning the division. We're a game up in the wild card. It would be catastrophic if we didn't give our fans at least our best effort as a team.
Yeah, agreed. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. All right, we had some chatter in the snake pit. I think their reaction was similar to Jamie and mine. The Ryan Day challenge / punishment has been fulfilled. If you go to our 101 ESPN YouTube channel, the snake pit.
Carey's still mad. That's
you
why.
could see Carey and Marsh did dye their beards. Here's the thing, though: they dyed it like right before the show, so it's gonna set in more and more. Now, in my opinion, Carey just looks younger. Carey looks younger.
It looks good.
Looks real good. It does. It works for you.
It's a reverse bet. We actually are the ones punished.
Yeah, punish us. That's what Jamie said.
Yeah.
Always.
Now,
That's what he said.
Marsh, it just looks darker.
Marshy's kind of got that Hulk Hogan NWO look. You know, the black that he had on his face, or the Razor Ramon look.
The funniest point was when we were putting it on, in my whole face, it looked like you took a Sharpie and just Sharpied onto my face until I had to, wash it off and whatnot. But my hands are still like, I got blotches of like ink on my hands right now.
Yeah, I learned from him. I kept my glove on.
Nice job,
Good
Carey.
idea.
This is smart.
Always. Keep your glove on.
Dr. Sanders says, Carey just looks like Dwayne Wade. How is this a punishment?
Wait, which one? The statue or Dwayne Wade?
Yeah.
No, actually Dwayne Wade. You don't look like the statue.
No, you don't, Carey.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Waterboy, I just thought CD was just trying to support his Big Ten just by doing the Ryan Day punishment. But no, this was for the
National
Oilers. This is for the Oilers-Panthers series. Jamie and I were on the Panthers.
Carey's crying the most about this. And
I was a little bothered.
And now he looks the best out of this.
I like my gray beard. I worked hard for that. You know how many
I know.
years I put in to grow gray?
Hard work. I do.
It's about 44.
Exactly.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So yeah, the guys don't look that much different.
No, but gentlemen, congratulations on fulfilling all of that.
Nice work.
Still, mine looks kind of goofy.
No, it really doesn't.
I think it does.
No.
I have like dirty blonde hair.
I was expecting like
Pitch black.
Yeah. And maybe we'll get there the longer
I
it
think
sets
it's
in.
going to set in and be darker.
Yours is starting to set in a little bit more and more, but
every I think by the end of the
You're
the
welcome.
week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Someone said to take my hat off to kind of get the full effect. I wonder if
I don't know if I mean you can. It just I don't know if I don't know.
Marsh, it's a free country. You can do as you want. You don't have to be bullied.
I don't think it looks that much
They
different.
don't look that much different. Jamie did say
No?
He
Marsh
kind
looks like
kind of.
Snake
more
Farmer.
like it now.
look at my hair color, dude.
Yeah, it's a
Look at
little.
my
I can see
beard.
it.
It's black, and my hair is like dirty blonde.
But you always wear a hat.
That is true.
Yeah.
I'll have to wear hoodies throughout the rest of the week so nobody knows what my actual hair color is.
You look good. All right, it's a Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Our biggest takeaways from the NHL Draft weekend. What do we think about the Blues selections? Is next. Actually, timeout. Timeout on the floor. Lineup game. Lineup is out. Lineup game is next on 101 ESPN.
If you're in the market of selling your home right now, please don't just trust any agent out there. The market is shifting. We talk to people about interest rates and price point and value, all these things. Trust Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria has been in the business for over 20 years, and she understands the market in St. Louis, especially in different areas of the city and the counties and all that. You don't want to price your home too high, have it sit forever, and you certainly don't want to price it too low and miss out on more money. Gloria Lou will sit there, talk to you, and price your home, and then she'll sell your home for the most money possible and get you to the closing table quickly. Gloria also has thousands of buyers in her database, and a large portion of that is going to be directed to your listing, which helps you sell your home faster, most money, closing table quickly. All of that. And all you have to do is call Gloria Lou. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number's 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Lineup game as the Cardinals open up a new series in Pittsburgh against the Pittsburgh Buccos. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Lineup game time. Andrew Heaney is on the hill for the Pirates. He is a left-hander. So something to consider with this lineup. He is a lefty. But I think it starts the same.
Yeah, nothing to consider here.
Go for it.
Show us Brendan Donovan.
Look at that guy. Vibrant, handsome, hair.
All right. Mason Wynn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Show us Mason Wynn.
Duncan! Bring me that arm!
I think it's my guy Burley here still.
I do too.
Show us Alec Burleson.
I thought I told you I'm a star.
You're already acting like you're a star and we haven't even opened yet!
So this is Willie.
Yeah, show us Wilson Contreras.
You don't know how to play first base. It's not that hard. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
Hey, anything worth doing is.
All right, so who was here on the weekend? It varied, didn't it?
It varied. But it has
Nolan Gorman.
a combination of Newt, Burley, or not Newt, Gorman, Arenado.
I think it's Arenado here.
Yesterday, I can tell you what it was yesterday. It was Gorman yesterday.
It was Newt on Saturday.
The Miles Michaelis game was Newt. Yep, Carey. And then on Friday night, it was Newt. Yeah. I think this is Arenado. I think Newt's out of the lineup.
Yeah, with a left-handed pitcher,
Yeah.
I think Newt's out.
Newt is out of the lineup?
I do.
Newt, there it is?
Yeah, we've had enough,
That's
Carey.
crazy.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
I think Donovan's going to be in left
sit down.
field. I think Gorman will be at second base.
Who's your DH?
What about Sajasi? Sajasi at second.
And a right-handed
Gorman,
bat.
DH.
Okay, let's get this one over with. Here, go ahead.
Show us.
Nolan Arenado.
A lot of people think you get in your mid-30s and
you
your
guys can
career's over, but like I always say, until they stop scouting,
sound like
I ain't
it.
going to stop playing.
I believed in you. This is Gorman here?
6. Yeah. If we think Gorman, Sajasi, right? Are we all on board with
Pages,
Sajasi
Scott.
somewhere?
Yeah.
Pages, Scott? Yeah.
That's it.
I think it's Gorman.
Show us the. Show us. No.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yes.
I'm in for Gorman. It's just the way you limped in there.
You kind of moseyed on in.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna lie, I'll let you behind the curtain. I was counting the spots left, and then the names you said, I was like, did they say enough names? But you did. So I got there. So then I was like, show us Nolan Gorman.
Swing Serenade is brought to you by Gorman's.
Dingers! Hang me a curve and I will hit. Dingers!
All right. Now this, if we're right about Sajasi, I think this is Sajasi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Show us. Thomas Sajasi.
Richard, do I have a mark on my face? It really hurts.
Nope, nothing. I thought I hit you on the shoulder.
My shoulder doesn't hurt very much, but my face does.
All right. Pedro
This is,
Pages.
Yachty Jr.
Yachty didn't hit a lot of home runs like Pages.
No, just
Both of you guys.
I'm not insulting him.
You're insulting Yachty.
That's true.
I said Junior.
You're insulting Yachty.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to insult Yachty. I was trying to build up Pedro Pages,
and
who's
I'm
still
sure
a current player.
I'm sure he's grateful of it. Yachty or Molina
Would not be grateful of
He
it.
would not. Not that he doesn't. He probably likes Pedro.
We don't know that.
I don't know that, but he ain't Yachty.
No.
Yachty
All right,
ain't Pedro.
guys, you've made your point. I'll never say it again.
Thank you.
Show us Pedro Pages.
Smithers, throw this at him. You're out!
Maybe.
Well, this is a curveball here, boys. We got ourselves a perfect game. And I don't think it's a curveball.
I don't think so. Carey, go ahead.
Show us Victor Scott the second.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man!
High fives. Nice job, guys. All right, Marsh, run it.
All right, leading off, your left fielder is Brendan Donovan, batting second. The shortstop, Mason Wynn, batting third. In right field, Alec Burleson. Your cleanup hitter, first baseman, Wilson Contreras, batting fifth. Third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Batting sixth, the DH, Nolan Gorman. Batting seventh, playing second base, Thomas Sajasi. Batting eighth and catching, Pedro Pages, also known
Don't do it.
as Pedro Pages.
Yes.
Thank you.
And batting ninth in center
didn't want
field,
that for you.
Victor Scott the second.
Back. Stay fair!
Go foul, go foul!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Home run.
All right, our guy Jamie Rivers is really trying to put the old nail in the coffin. He picks up another couple of points with an Alec Burleson home run over the weekend.
Yeah.
What's that?
Is that 19?
I don't know.
Is it 19?
19 points for Jamie, 13 for Carey, seven's the number for Anthony, and I have 3.
Okay, well, Jamie, without further ado.
All right, let's go with Big Willie Contreras, please.
Carey.
Give me Thomas Sajasi.
I don't hate that at all.
Nice job. Give me Victor Scott. How are you feeling? I don't know.
Lefty on lefty, huh?
Yeah, lefty on lefty crime.
All right.
Since you guys were talking crap, about Pedro Pages.
What?
Give me Pedro Pages.
That would have been awesome if you went in another direction.
I was thinking about it for 1 second.
That would have been funny.
I was thinking about it.
All right, there is your lineup game. There is your home run derby. And now we'll get into our biggest takeaways from the NHL Draft weekend next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Have you ever thought of owning farmland? I bet you haven't. Neither had I until I talked to my friends over at AgVest, and they let me know that guys like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates have invested in U.S. farmland. There is a reason, too. There's steady returns, long-term growth, and real stability. And when the market is all over the place, it's up, it's down, you're stressed out, all that stuff, farmland holds its value. For 14 years, AgVest has helped leading financial institutions manage over $900 million in farmland deals, and they are licensed in 10 states. If you own farmland, AgVest can help maximize its value with full-service management, from sourcing and diligence to rent and tenant selection. Look, it's a very steady return on investment to own the farmland, and it's a great investment for you. It's got great returns each year, and it also every year appreciates. The value of the farm appreciates. So please, if you have any more questions or just information that you want at all, call my guy Chris Bronner at 618-520-7022. That's 618-520-7022, or you can always visit agvestadvisors.com. Buy land. They're not making it anymore.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals swept the Cleveland Guardians this weekend, and the Cardinals will be back in action tonight, taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Eric Fetty on the mound, going up against Andrew Haney. First pitch tonight is at 5:40. Also over the weekend, the NHL Entry Draft was held, and the Blues selected Justin Carbonneau. We'll discuss the Blues pick and everything else that was happening over the weekend in the NHL. That's next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
With the 19th overall selection in the 2025 NHL Entry Draft, the St. Louis Blues are proud to select from the Blainville-Boisbrand Armada right winger Justin Carbonneau.
I think I'm an offensive player. I can score some goals in the dirty areas, shooting the puck, and a bunch of plays I can score some goals and make plays offensively. But I don't do that outside dots. I do that inside dots. I go to the net. Like I said, I'm not scared of anyone. You're 6'8" or 5'8". I'm not going to change my way of playing. So, I play goal. I score some goals. I make some plays and all that, but the right way. So, yeah.
Nikki Glazer announced it on ESPN.com. Then you heard Justin Carbonneau there, that audio courtesy of our St. Louis Blues. It's the Blues Radio Network 101 ESPN. We are the Fast Lane. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. So the Blues made 3 selections at the 2025 NHL Entry Draft, including forward Justin Carbonneau in the first round, 19th overall. And Jamie, based on the brief text messages that you exchanged with us here in the Fast Lane over the weekend, this is a player that you think is got a lot of versatility and somebody that you think could make an impact in a few years.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. Like, that's the one thing for Blues fans. You're going to have to realize that, even though there's a lot of promise for Justin Carbonneau, who, by the way, no relation to Guy Carbonneau. A lot of people thought that right away, like somewhere in the pipe. Not related to Guy at all. But a player like Justin Carbonneau, you just have to look for, just like in any sport, you look for progress each year. Like, what does it look like? And you go back to 2 years ago in the Quebec Major Junior League, 23-24, played 68 games, had 31 goals, 28 assists, 59 points. I mean, it's a pretty good season. It was his first year in the league. There's certainly nothing that you're turning your nose up at. But last year, 62 games, so 6 games less, 46 goals, 43 assists, 89 points. So 30 points more with 6 games less, and he had 16 power play goals. So you're seeing, the trajectory kind of spike for him. And so talking to a couple of scouts and some front office people, they really like his versatility. They like his size. So he's 6'2", 205 right now, 18 years old. He's only going to get bigger and stronger. And he's a power forward, got a great shot, loves to use it. And his shot has got that NHL shot, which means he can score from the outside, which is, a lot of people say, you got to get to the middle, got to get inside the dots. Very few people in the league can score from the outside. And he, at the level that he's playing at right now, don't know about the NHL, but where he's at right now, he can score from the outside. He's a strong skater, loves to win puck battles, loves to get to the front of the net, plays with an edge. You heard him. He's like, whether you're 5'9" or 6'9", I'm not afraid of you. Time will tell, because things get real. But the attitude, you have to love the attitude on the kid. To me, he projects to be a really good St. Louis Blue. Like, I asked a couple people for some comparables, and it's tough. Because these kids, you don't know what they are going to be ultimately in the NHL. So I didn't really get an exact comparable from a couple people, but based on, the way he plays and what I'm seeing, this guy would project to be a good St. Louis Blue based on the way we saw them play last year in Montgomery. Finishes his hits, not afraid of guys, like gets in there, battles, block shots, all of those things. But he's obviously got a goal scorer's touch, almost scoring 50 goals playing junior hockey.
Wow. And Marsh, you were reading up on some of the projections leading into the draft, and from what you could tell, Justin Carbonell was not supposed to be there at 19.
I think from what I've read, based on some like mocks and how people had him rated, that the Blues got some good value for him at 19. So, and he, I believe, is one of the best guys, like one of the best players in the queue too. So, I've watched some tape of the kid. He can make some plays. He can score some goals. He should be a good Blue whenever he's ready to be in the NHL.
The Blues also selected forward Mikhail. I don't know how to say this last name. Fyodorov in the 5th round.
Yeah.
147th overall. And then they selected a goaltender, Love Herenstam, in the 6th round, 179th overall. I don't know how much it matters that they took a goaltender, but I think it's almost like taking a quarterback in almost every draft just to have one developing. Or at least to make sure that you're not missing something, even if you're taking them later on. That's the read I have on this, considering he's a 7th-round pick. But any thoughts on the other 2 selections for the Blues?
Those are selections that you wait and see. I don't like to use the word like you hope, because these are 2 good players that were able to be drafted to the National Hockey League. Like, so many kids or so many people won't ever get that opportunity. So I don't want to say, well, who knows, wild card. But that's kind of where you're at right now. And you get a goalie in the 7th round, and you're thinking long-term project at this point. Wherever he's playing his career right now, he'll age out. You get him to your minor league system. He'll probably start in the East Coast League, work his way up to the American League, and then go from there. So goaltender's probably 4 to 5 years away from actually being in the conversation. And the Russian kid, you just never know. They might never leave Russia. Some of those kids are pretty happy playing in the KHL eventually. They don't leave their country, their hometown. They make pretty good money. Other kids cannot wait to get out of there. They have a massive dream of playing in the NHL, and and so they want to get there as quick as possible. He is a skilled player. I'm not going to lie and say I know a whole lot about him. I tried to make a couple of calls today, and believe it or not a whole lot of scouting going on over there right now.
Really? In Russia.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Now, there are some people, but just a young kid, good skills, tremendous upside, but still a long ways to go before we know exactly what he is.
Sure. I think, Carey, when you look at any draft, you get a sense of what the future may hold. But with the Blues, it's almost like the future is already right now because of the way the roster is set up. I don't know if there's an overarching takeaway here, really.
I think, with the first pick, you take the kid that you feel like has the most upside, like the best player available. If you have a team that is not in the need of anything, urgently, like there's no rush or sense of urgency to have those guys, cycle through the system, through the program, through the pipeline, and be ready to play, then you get the best player available. And what they're saying about Carbonell is he has the best upside in the draft and potentially a top 6 forward for the Blues. So if you draft that guy and you don't have to play him right away, you can store him and let him, gain knowledge in terms of how the NHL game is going to go for a couple of years, and then when he's ready, you can throw him out there. I think it'll be really good. And he's a big kid.
Yeah, he's a big kid, and like Marshy said, he was one of the top scorers in the Quebec League. He was 2nd in the league in scoring. So you would have to imagine that things are only going to continue to progress for him and get better. And I don't expect him to be wearing the blue note next season. But if he's somewhere in and around the 100-point mark next year after junior hockey, you've picked a guy that's headed in the right direction.
That's the progression.
That's the progression. You want to continuously see that. And then when he gets to the pro level, you want to see, where he's at his first year and, kind of where he ends up at the end of his first year as far as his own progression at that point. The fact that Doug Armstrong took a winger in the first round tells you that he's playing the long game here. He's waiting until maybe one of the older guys' contracts run out, and the timing is just right. You're always trying to time things accordingly. Nothing's ever perfect.
Yeah.
And then other times you're just taking the best player available in that moment. And because he was projected to go, 13th, some people had him in the top 10, and you got him at 19. Army might have said, I don't care what position this kid plays. We're getting
where
the best
the timeline
right
matches
now.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you don't expect a player to be there, you draft them, assuming, of course, that you also like him.
Yep.
If he's still there, then you select him. You worry about the timing and all that later. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have your shot to score 2 tickets to Adam Sandler on Friday, October 17th at Enterprise Center. Tickets for Adam Sandler are on sale now, and you can find all the details and a bonus chance to win free tickets to the show right now at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. Here's your question for the day. Billy Madison is actually playing on one of our TVs right now in the studio. What day at the start of the movie was Billy Madison excited about? I mean, he drives around in the golf cart and he's all excited. What day was Billy Madison excited for at the start of the Billy Madison movie? This one should be easy for you folks. I just wanted to see the text line light up with those exact words. What's the immediate future of the rotation now for the Cardinals is coming in, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the immediate future of the rotation for the Cardinals? They are saying that they're going to stick with Andre Palante. Miles Michaelis had a dreadful performance on Saturday. We got more numbers on him, too, by the way. Not pretty. So what do we believe the Cardinals will do moving forward with Michaelis, even Palante, and then Michael McGreevy? That's next on 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN. We saw Miles Michaelis really struggle on Saturday. Now, fortunately, the offense bailed him out, and the offense has done that throughout the season. They have been excellent at times. Other times, like the back half of the Cubs series, not so much, but the offense really picked it up over the weekend. Miles Michaelis, though, and Jamie, was it you or Marsh? Maybe Marsh. Marsh shared this over the weekend. This is from Only Cards fans on Twitter.
Be careful.
Only Cards fans on Twitter.
Cards is an important word in that.
They tweeted out, I went to check how close Michaelis is to having the worst ERA in baseball. The answer is he has the 8th worst. Kind of. And you wonder yourself, what kind of? What does that mean? In fact, the famed innings eater hasn't pitched enough innings to qualify, even though he hasn't missed a start. That's kind of telling, huh?
That's harsh.
Well, no, it's just reality, right?
Well, probably.
My question to you guys, and Katie Wu did have the article that you put together over the weekend, and it was before the Cleveland series, I should say, about Andre Palante and how the Cardinals are fine with him learning at the big league level. He can have success and struggle at the big league level, but basically he's going to kind of learn at this level. Translation, they're not going to remove him from the starting rotation. What do you guys think the immediate future of the rotation is, though? With Michaelis struggling, Palante up and down, do you think they ride this out with Michaelis as long as they can and then eventually give McGreevy an opportunity? Do they wait to see if both Palante and Michaelis really start to combine their struggles and then go to McGreevy? What do you think the immediate future is for this rotation?
I don't think it's McGreevy for Palante. I don't. I think Palante is going to be your
shouldn't be.
I think he's going to be your number 5. And you'll live with some of the warts that happen because if nothing else, Palante battles. He battles. And although some of his starts are not pretty, he's still effective. I'm watching Michaelis, and the other teams are just hitting the ball so hard. Like so hard that I'm like they're on to him. Whether it's picking up a certain way he's pitching or his pitches don't have what they used to or they're just slow enough but not too slow to hit, like batting practice. I don't know what it is, but they are knocking the snot out of the ball when he's out there. If I'm the Cardinals right now, it's tough because if you relegate Michaelis to the bullpen or if you give him an IL stint, or oblique or something, hip flexors tweaked.
Yeah.
Does that affect his trade value? I don't think it does. I don't think it affects his value right now.
I don't think he has any value.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
So if I'm the Cardinals, I think I'm talking to Miles Michaelis and I'm talking about, an IL stint, see if he needs some rest, work on some things. McGreevy slides right into his spot in the rotation because you're actually in a dogfight right now. There's 4 teams in the NL Central that are actually playing pretty well this year.
Yeah, Milwaukee's surpassed you.
And Cincinnati's right there. Like it's a tight division, and you're in the playoffs right now as a wild card team. I just don't know how much more you can just keep rolling out a certain player, and everybody knows. Like you know this, Carey. You know this, Anthony. We all played on teams where like certain players get up to bat or certain players are pitching, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Or a goalie that you have is like, oh, this is going to be a long one. We better be awesome today because this is not going to be pretty. The offense is having to come out of nowhere to win games for Miles Michaelis. I think it's time that you make that switch to McGreevy and you deal with the consequences. Whether Michaelis doesn't want to go to the bullpen, well, then he can go home.
Yeah, or a phantom IL list situation. Yeah,
Whatever.
If you want to save the embarrassment for him.
I think that sounds good. I don't think that they do anything. I think they are committed
for a while or at all.
For probably. I mean, yeah, ever. I mean, I understand that the play hasn't been as good as you would like it to be. It hadn't been to the level that you needed to be. But we saw, and I'm not saying Wainwright and Miles Michaelis, and this is 2 totally different scenarios and 2 totally different seasons. But we saw Waino continue to pitch when we saw that he wasn't right. He got to start every 5th day, and so I don't think that this organization is going to just wave their hand and say, all right, Miles, we appreciate your service. Thank you for coming out. God bless you. Good night. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to allow him and trust him to hopefully figure it out at some point, just like I feel like they tried to trust Waino that he would figure it out at some point.
There's a couple of key differences there, CD. One,
I agree.
Waino, legend within the organization.
I thought you were going to say legendary.
2, Cardinals stunk that year. 3, they knew he had a career outside of baseball that he could fall back on. That being, of course, his country singing.
This is why they didn't have to let him keep pitching.
So with Michaelis,
Miles doesn't have that opportunity to get into music, so he's got to pitch.
I've never seen him sing the national anthem.
Yeah,
nor have I.
So big differences there. Marcy?
I think there's another player that's probably happy that his name hasn't popped up in this conversation, and there's a reason why you probably can't move away from Miles Michaelis, and I think it's based off of what Katie Wu said today when she joined BK and Ferrario and her speculation. So shall we take a listen?
Can we hear that, please?
Absolutely.
Katie Wu of The Athletic, Cardinals Insider, joining BK and Ferrario.
I mean, I think it's fair to say, as we are one day before July, before trade deadline month, that the Cardinals look like legitimate National League contenders now, whether that means for a very tight National League Central or an even tighter National League. The wild card picture remains to be seen. But while I can't say the Cardinals sell is like fully off the table, I think the degree to which they do, I've said this before, you look at a team like what the Detroit Tigers did last year at the deadline, and they traded away some key pieces, don't get me wrong, Jack Flaherty, Andrew Chafin, Carson Kelly, on expiring deals, but it created more room for their upcoming core. And now you see where the Tigers are right now. It's a pretty good place to be. Can the Cardinals do something like that where they do swap someone that has been impactful for this team in order to create another opportunity for somebody else that they believe is in the future and still be a good team? I think so. Here's an obvious one that I think you guys know I'm getting at. This is my speculation, but could the Cardinals trade Eric Fetty to make room for Michael McGreevy? That could certainly be on the table.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I know you are.
That means that Miles Michaelis is still in your starting rotation.
Correct. Yeah. But at least he is still a fifth starter, and you're getting something for Fetty, and
he's a fifth
Michael
starter?
McGreevy starts.
Okay. So
right?
you're okay if as long as McGreevy is in the starting rotation, you're fine. Because that's essentially what I think you're saying. And Miles Michaelis, you do whatever you do on the fifth day.
What I'm saying is, Michaelis, it's a moot point unless you DFA him because he doesn't have any trade value.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. So I was listening to, I think it was, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Baron Davis, and they were talking about, and I don't want to misquote it, but it might not have been, but I don't remember who it was. But they were talking about how in every locker room there's one player that you can't get rid of. Oh, no, it was Anquan Bolton. There's one player in every locker room you can't get rid of. Like, we're not in that clubhouse. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how well or poorly they're playing. There's one player in every locker room and he said GMs don't understand that, coaches don't understand it. I don't know if Miles Michaelis is that for that starting rotation, if he's that for that pitching group. I don't know that, but I don't know that it's not that. So there, and what he said is pretty accurate. Like, there is one guy that is the glue to that locker room. He holds everything together, and if that person is not in there, it's not going to go haywire, but their absence will be missed. I don't know if Miles Michaelis is that. And if it's bigger than just on the field, then there's no reason. That would be part of the reason why they wouldn't move on from him.
I could totally see him being a glue guy. Like, he has the personality for that. I could totally see him being that guy.
So you're going to – and if he is that guy, he's going to pitch every fifth day, and you're going to like it.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna. Yeah, you are.
No, Cardinals fans won't either. I just don't. I'm trying to look at this realistically, right? And we're getting some people in the snake pit, Ellipsis 150, and somebody else here. I think it was Hal. Yeah, Hal Reeser says, "Who wants Michaelis or Fetty?" I'm with you. If you listen to the show last week, I dogged on Fetty pretty badly. I think he is fast lane fine. I think he's just fine. He's a fine starter. It is what I would not have made the deal last year. I've said as much. I understood it because Tommy Edman was injured, and he was kind of redundant within your organization.
Yeah. Pretty healthy in the World Series.
Yeah, he was. But I liked the deal less because it was Eric Fetty who was propped up. He had one good year. That was it. Otherwise, he's either been fine or dog poop. Like, that's his performances has been, not him as a person. I'm sure he's fine as a person. But I think out of the two, Fetty would have the trade value and not Miles Michaelis. Miles Michaelis doesn't have any trade value.
I don't think either of them have a tremendous amount for that matter. But
well, not now.
I would agree that.
Thanks, Fetty.
I'm pretty sure the Blues were still playing hockey when Eric Fetty won his last decision that resulted in a win for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Blues were still playing hockey.
That's wild.
May 9th.
It's problematic, Marsh.
That's a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while. All right, it's Fast on 101 at ESPN. The Blues have locked up Joel Hofer.
What did he do? Why did they do that?
Boy.
He played good hockey, Carey.
What?
Carey, I can see why you took what I said there wrong. Take two. The Blues have signed Joel Hofer to a contract extension, 2-year deal.
Yeah.
Now what? That's next on 101 ESPN. If you're buying a new car for a new driver, you know it's a big deal. So you want something reliable, you want something safe, affordable. At some point, maybe your son or daughter is going off to college and you want to purchase them a new ride, but you don't want to break the bank. That's where Auto Centers Nissan comes in with over 1,000 new and used vehicles all in one location, just off I-55 in Herculaneum. Finding the right fit is easy. Right now, during their Nissan Summer Sales Event, you can get 0% APR for 60 months on the 2025 Rogue and the 2025 Pathfinder, SUVs with modern safety features and enough cargo space for dorm rooms or weekend getaways. If that's not what you're looking to purchase for your new driver, they've got all kinds of different new and used vehicles there on their lot, different makes and models too. It's not just Nissans. But if you're worried about making the right choice, you've got the support of Auto Centers Nissan because they got a lifetime warranty and a 30-day return promise. Within 30 days, something's not right, bring it back, and Auto Centers Nissan will refund you the money. If financing is a concern, don't sweat it. Their finance team works with all credit situations to help make it happen. So get started with confidence at AutoCentersNissan.com. When you do head out to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. It's all here. Time Check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. The Blues have signed Joel Hofer to a 2-year contract extension. Another way to put it is they have locked him up contract-wise, Carey.
Just making sure.
2 years, $6.8 million extension, 3.4 AAV. Combined goaltender cap hit for the Blues in 25, 26, $9.4 million. Binnington's at $6 million. Hofer at $3.4 million. Seems like a great deal for the Blues signing Joel Hofer to the 2 years. So what next? Before we get to the on ice, off ice, Jamie, what do you think the plan is? Because both these guys, their contract, both up in 2 years. So what do you think Army's thinking here?
Well, I actually love it because in 2 years from now, like, you'll know what Jordan Binnington still is or isn't at that point. He'll be 33, turning 34-ish in that area. What is he? Is he still a dominant goalie in the NHL? Is he a number one? Is he still a big game Binnington guy? Or is he now more of the Jake Allen type thing or the Marc-Andre Fleury where you're going to do the flip, where your starter becomes your 1A becomes your 1B and your 1B becomes your 1A. Same to be said for Joel Hofer. Identically matching contracts. So 2 years from now, just like you'll know more about Binnington, you'll know more about Joel Hofer. Is he ready to leapfrog Jordan Binnington? And if that's the case, then does Jordan Binnington want to remain a St. Louis Blue? Because he'll be unrestricted. Hofer will still be a restricted free agent, so the Blues will still have his rights. And so for me, it's just Doug Armstrong not kicking the can down the road, because that sounds like there's no strategy. For me, he strategically set this contract up so that in 2 years' time, or maybe even sooner, he knows exactly what he's got in both goaltenders, and they can either make a change, meaning they can trade Jordan Binnington, or he can walk via free agency, or maybe they sign him at a little bit of a lower value and keep him around as the Marc-Andre Fleury mentor type guy for Joel Hofer.
It looks like having the contracts being the same length, it's like you're setting up what you just said. You're setting up for your future. And I think the ultimate goal is probably to have Hofer being your starting goalie in a couple of years. And not that Jordan Binnington hasn't earned or deserved it, but I think you start to transition. You go a little bit younger, and that veteran player has a decision to make. Either I can go elsewhere, sign another contract, and hopefully have another opportunity to start. Or if the water is dried up elsewhere, I know I am now wanted here still. I'm still going to play 20, 30, 35 games and be a backup to a guy that I've watched grow and take my position, but also, kind of just a shift in philosophies. And I think as you get older, you start to understand that most times quarterbacks aren't willing to do that. They want to go away. They don't want to be a backup after they've been starting. But I think that would be a good role if it plays out that way.
So the tandem now is locked up for the next 2 years in a league where some teams are blowing $10 million on one goaltender. You've got two guys that are reliable. One won a Stanley Cup for you and can win you a series, and another who's shown all kinds of promise. Under $10 million for both guys next year. So I think that's smart cap management. I don't think you're hamstrung. Doug Armstrong set this up. You're not hamstrung for the offseason, the rest of the offseason. The other question becomes, what kind of shift are we going to see, if any, Jamie, when it comes to the on-ice timeshare?
Oh, with Binnington and Hofer?
Yeah, what do you think that looks like?
Yeah, that's going to be tougher because I think the Blues feel like they had the optimal schedule last year for both of these guys. I know that they put a lot of thought into it. Dave Alexander, who's the goalie coach, the goalie guru, we'll call him, he put a lot of thought into it, and it ended up where he felt Jordan Binnington still had gas in the tank to end the season, going to playoffs, which he did. And Hofer, finished the season strong, good numbers, and wasn't too overutilized. Now, it was 56 games last year. That's the total games for Binnington. That's regular season, including playoffs, I believe. Because, it's regular season, including playoffs. So 56 games. If you take 6-7 games of that away, you're at 49 games. So I think you'll see more of a 50-50 net share. I just do. I think you have to. I think you have to keep moving the ball down the road to make sure that you're able to develop your goaltender in Joel Hofer. Because if you don't do that, like, what are you really doing?
Is that the best way to go about it? Do you, and I don't know this, I'm asking, is it for goalies, do they need to have multiple games and like if you're going every other game or however you split it up 50-50, how does that work for the goalies? Do they get, are they not staying as sharp if they're not in the net every single night?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's so many games in a week, and they're on the ice almost every day of the week. They get their one mandatory day off. But I just look at it and go, you got Joel Hofer, who's 7 years younger than Jordan Binnington. You've got to get it close to being like maybe 42 starts for Binnington, 40 starts for Hofer. That's ultimately, 41-41 would be a perfect 50-50 split. I don't know if you get there next year, but I think you got to, if you're going to give Hofer, who last year had, what did I say, 31 starts? Yeah, 31 starts. If you want to get him closer to 40, let's say you give him another 5 starts, so he's at 36. Then the rest of it goes to Binnington. And then the year after, you get him closer to 40. You have to. By the time both of these contracts expire, you have to know what each goaltender is.
So I just looked up the final full year of Jim Montgomery's tenure in Boston. What did the goaltending situation look like there? Well, Jeremy Swayman, he ended up starting... let me pull this back up here. Jeremy Swayman ended up starting 43 games, and Linus Ullmark ended up starting 39.
Yeah.
And that was a tandem that they had that they rolled with all, for a while. So I wonder if there's something similar to that because Jim Montgomery has gone through this before.
Didn't they have a problem in the playoffs, though, with bouncing back and forth between those two guys in the first round?
Neither guy stepped up. So they went with Swayman, I believe, to start it off. And he was not great. Yeah. And so at some point, you look at the end of the bench, and you got the other guy who played 39 games. It's pretty good. You go, let's see what he can do. And then he didn't play all that great.
Gotcha.
Whereas, ultimately, here's the thing. And we get a good question from Tim's Toothless. Tim's Toothless. We'll leave it right there. Says,
it's bad when he doesn't bring something up.
Well, I'm a little unsure. So if they split 50-50, who's our playoff goalie? Jordan Binnington.
100%.
He's your playoff goalie.
And you do this to keep him fresh.
Yeah.
Right.
While also knowing that your 1B can win you games, and you feel real confident in that.
Now, the next year following that?
Who knows?
Who knows at that point?
By the way, Vladimir Tarasenko is back in the Western Conference. He was just traded from Detroit to the Minnesota Wild. So Tarasenko is now in Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, things are going in the wrong direction for Vladimir Tarasenko. What did I say? It's his 6th team since February 2023.
Yeah.
He's bouncing around. There's a reason for that. He's getting older, and he can't provide what he once could provide. He brought an excellent layer of depth to the Florida Panthers in their Stanley Cup victory. He was great. He was exactly what they needed in a third-line role, much like Brad Marchand, although I think Marchand had more of an impact this year than Tarasenko. But if you look at the numbers, Vladdy had a good playoff for the Florida Panthers. Then, things not so great. Did not go well in Detroit for Vladimir Tarasenko. I don't know if the marriage was perfect. Steve Yzerman, I know him very well, and I know what kind of player he's looking to sign. And I think mentally he was signing Tarasenko from like 4 years ago, but he wasn't getting that player. And then the player was not happy with the role that he had or the ice time, but not necessarily earning the ice time either. So I felt like that marriage was going to have a breakup, whether it was a buyout by the Red Wings or a trade. And essentially I'm not being mean. They gave him away. They traded Tarasenko to the Minnesota Wild for future considerations, which could be
anything.
A hotel room at a casino.
Could be. They just renamed their arena, too.
There you go.
Grand Casino Center, I believe.
There you go. So nice hotel stay maybe coming for Steve Yzerman.
Yeah, you don't know.
All right.
Which bothers me, by the way. I don't like the name change.
No, you like it XL.
The XL Energy Center. They should have never changed the name.
Well, you don't like the Wild, so
no,
it's
but
it's good that they
have
cool
something. Arena.
They have something worse now.
It's a cool arena.
It's fine.
That'd be like if Busch Stadium changed their name to something different.
It's coming. What? Watch. It's inevitable. So
they changed.
Yep.
They call Heinz Field Acroshire.
That's true.
And they changed
that's actually a
Staples to the crypto, whatever they call
Another
that.
great example.
Minute Maid isn't even Minute Maid anymore.
What are they
Minute
doing?
Maid Park.
What is it called?
I don't even know.
Yeah, nobody knows.
I just know it's not
Miller
Minute Maid.
Park is what now?
American Family.
Yeah.
American Family.
It's
worse.
Can't have that.
Grand Casino Arena. That's the name of it.
I think the more iconic stadiums and rinks won't bend a knee, as they say.
Yeah, they will.
I don't know,
Yes, they
man. Madison
will.
Square Garden?
That might be the
Yankee
only
Stadium?
one.
Rambo Fields.
Fenway Park?
Soldier Fields.
You might be right.
Wrigley
Those are
Fields.
iconic.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
I said iconic, Carey.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't say the
said.
Carolina Panthers.
No, that's
Bank of America.
See?
Yeah, we know that one.
Bank of America.
There are stadiums, though, that people recognize the name of it now more so than they did in the past. Like, people are like, oh, the Enterprise Center, right? But, like, do you remember when it was called the Savis Center?
I do.
Sir, remember
Or the
that?
Scott Trade Center.
How
do
about
remember Scott Trade
the
Center.
Summit Center, you know, in Chesterfield, renamed to the Hardee's Iceplex.
It was U.S. Ice to start with.
There you go. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, I do.
It's not there anymore.
That's gone.
Dyken
R.I.P.
Park.
What?
R.I.P.
Now.
Yeah, seriously.
What is
Dyken Park instead of Minute Maid Park.
Oh,
Dyken.
somebody knew that.
Yep. So there you have it. I don't know how we got there.
I'm not sure either.
Where are we? It's Fast on 101 ESPN. Is Oli Marmol the front runner for Manager of the Year? Some say yes, and some want him gone. We'll tell you where we stand next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, there comes a time in all of our lives as men where you start to feel different. It's just not the same vibe as it once was, you know? Less energy, more fatigue. The muscle mass isn't there anymore, and you're starting to put on a few extra pounds. And kind of depressing, really, is what it is.
It is.
I've got a solution. The solution is mentality. And you're going to get in there and you're going to talk to a board-certified physician who, by the way, they're awesome. They're your friends. They want to help you through it. It's not intimidating at all. Nothing to be stressed out about. And then they do a full blood panel. And when they do the blood panel, they find out everything, whether it's low testosterone, low in vitamin B, your iron's low, all things that can affect your performance, whether it's at work, at home, it doesn't matter. And then once they figure that out, Anthony, that's when all the great stuff starts to happen.
I feel great now. And I know you feel that. You say, thanks, Jamie. You as well. If you're constantly low on energy, if you're just tired of it, right? If you're just tired of not feeling like you did when you were younger, and you have kind of that mentality that Jamie and I have, where it's like, no, this isn't right. I want to make sure that I've got enough left in the tank to play with the kids at night, and make sure that whatever I have my hand in from a work standpoint is getting my best. Go to Mentality. Mentality's got 2 different locations: one in Chesterfield, one in South County. And Jamie's right. The process is easy. Most insurances cover Mentality. Head down there or go online, mentalityhealth.com/radio. Get to be the best dad, get to be the best husband, get to be the best friend and son that you were meant to be with Mentality. Jamie and I feel great. You will too. We can't recommend them enough. Mentality. Carlson on 101 ESPN. We're already seeing the Snake Pit react to the tease about Oli Marmol perhaps being front runner for Manager of the Year. Jamie, you found a text thread that, not a text thread, excuse me, a Twitter thread.
I did.
That had Oli Marmol potentially as Manager of the Year. And you thought, boy, if we can just drop this into the fire, we'll really have some flames.
Yeah. I found on Twitter Josh Jacobs, at Josh Jaco 98.
Running back, of course.
No, not the same guy.
Brothers.
He writes, multiple national writers have Oli Marmol as their front runner for Manager of the Year. Yet there's a section of St. Louis Cardinals fans who refuse to move off their he's awful take and rarely give any actual factual support to their stance. So as it sits right now, when you look at the Cardinals and where they're at and where they should have been, where everybody thought, how bad everybody thought they were going to be.
That's the key.
And they're not.
Yeah.
Then you kind of have to look at it and go, what team has shown maybe the most improvement with the least amount of work? So the Cardinals had no free agent signings, no big, like they did nothing pretty much.
They signed Phil Maton.
That's it.
It's Major League Baseball probably told them, hey, get off your head, you know what, and do something.
And so now Ollie's got this team competing for the NL Central Division, which has not been just an absolute ish show this year. The teams are playing pretty good. But I think this is the last year of his deal right now, I believe. Or maybe he has one more.
I think he's got one more.
But at what point, if you're the Cardinals, do you start believing in Oli? Like, I think Mo does. That's why Mo hired him. Now, Chaim Bloom, who's sitting back there watching or being a part of this, he's got to look at this and kind of wonder, because I wrote in here, I said, everybody was like, Oli Marmol's, he's John Mozeliak's puppet. He's a puppet. He's got no managerial experience, and he's just doing what he's told. And the Cardinals were not good. They were not good. But now that they're playing better, inspired baseball that we love watching, and you're seeing an uptick on the team. Well, what is that? Is he still a puppet? Is John Mozeliak finally a good manager? Is he like?
Yeah, you have to You can't have it both ways.
The same cannot be said both ways.
Yes.
So if he was a puppet and they were terrible because of Mozeliak's interference, and now the team's playing well, then you got to give credit to Oli here and the other coaches, not just Oli, but the whole group of them seem like they found the right combination finally.
I mean, he has been. This team has been playing well. It is a surprise. I don't think anyone predicted them to be in the spot that they are in. But I would say we still got to let it play out. I'm not a fan of. I hate the fact that the best teams and that manager or that coach doesn't get rewarded. You're supposed to win. You know how hard it is to manage a team when they have a bunch of players and the expectation. It's incredibly hard when the expectations are extremely high. So the notion that you give it to, they weren't supposed to be good. Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs. Like, I don't think that coach or that manager should be rewarded. So you have to see how it plays out. If the Cardinals make it to the playoffs, if they are, firmly entrenched, if they win the division, hell yeah. Like right now, I mean, Craig Counsell and the Cubs are a better team based on the record and based on where they are in the standings. So why wouldn't Craig Counsell be one of the coaches one of the managers you talked about as far as Manager of the Year? So for me, it's a race. It's going to take some time before we get to the end of it, but. Oli has done a fantastic job with this team in this season.
So I think there's two different ways to look at this, right? One is the way that Jamie pointed out, which is that how do Cardinals fans feel about Oli and everything that goes with that, and how they have those previous feelings about he's terrible, whatever, and can they get over that to look at the job that he's doing? But then just when we're talking about pure who could win NL Manager of the Year, it often goes to, and sorry, CD, but it often goes to the manager that did more with less. That's how the award has always been.
Yeah.
In any sport, for that matter.
It's like the defenseman that scores the most goals.
To win, or the Gold Glover that
hits the ball at the farthest.
Right.
But a direct correlation here, just to kind of support what you're saying, is Spencer Carberry won NHL, the Jack Adams Award, Coach of the Year, because the Washington Capitals went from barely making the playoffs to second in the NHL.
Correct.
And they weren't supposed to be good.
But they were second in the NHL as well. So if they finished outside of
the biggest improvement. So if we thought the Cardinals were going to be a 78,
but if you don't make the playoffs, you shouldn't be considered for manager or coach of the year.
What Carey is saying is that we have to wait.
Yeah, you got to wait to the end of it. In my opinion,
we can't. I'm not giving him the award today.
Well, I thought you did.
No, I said right now. If the season, the whole premise of this, Carey, if you're paying attention,
the thing that bothers me, Jamie, is you don't know how much power you have, and when you say those things, the damn award was given out, and we got to get to the end of the year.
Yeah,
hell are you doing?
No,
Carey's right.
The segment is built around the fact that if the season ended today, Oli Marmol, they're saying, would be the front runner for manager of the year.
And if they're in the playoff picture right now, yes. But if they, in my opinion, if they aren't in the playoff picture, despite how much of a drastic jump they made from last year to this year and how much improvement they made, like, you got to get to the playoffs, in my opinion. Like, in order to be coach of the year, manager of the year, I don't think you reward a coach or a manager say, oh, you had a hell of a year. You stunk last year and you didn't stink this year. No, your improvement should be, we are a playoff team this year in comparison to the year before.
Yeah, they're going to be compared to, if the Phillies and the Dodgers both win their respective divisions, you're not going to see, Rob Thompson and Dave Roberts win the award. They're just not.
Which I think I think it's unfair.
You're loaded
because
with
Phil
talents.
Jackson dealt with that. Right, you don't win the coach of the year because you got Michael Jordan and you got Kobe Bryant. Yeah. Right, so no one expects you to be coach of the year because you're supposed to win. It's still hard to manage when you got a bunch of star players.
Absolutely,
and to manage those expectations to still be that good.
You're not wrong.
Thank you, but yeah.
I don't think that enough people give him credit for the things that typically go unnoticed. Mm-hmm. For example, on Saturday, bases loaded, Phil Maton comes into the game, and the bases are loaded. Mm-hmm. He walks a couple guys. They have two guys getting ready in the bullpen, O'Brien and Romero. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there in my kitchen or in my living room, standing in the kitchen. I think I was making food at the time. And I go, why is he still in the game? Get him out. Bases loaded.
Bum. Go ahead, say it.
The base is loaded. Go get him. There's 2 outs. You have a lefty that you can throw in there. They had a pinch hitter come up. He keeps Maton in, strikes him out, gets out of the inning. Cardinals end up going to the ninth and winning the game. And I go, hey, that's why I'm not managing.
You still don't Marsh, I don't understand why you still don't get this, though. The praise in that situation goes to Phil Maton. He worked himself into that jam and worked himself out of that jam. Do you know whose fault it was on Saturday? Oli's.
For what?
And the Cardinals offense bailed him out.
For Miles?
Yes.
So here's the other thing.
You got to read the Oli Marmol, when to blame the manager and when to give the players credit.
Start actually giving
manual that I have.
They never do. They never do, which I think is the worst.
Hence my point.
The worst concept of
hear
them
me out, Carey.
all.
If this was Skip Schumacher, okay? Because everybody loves to talk about Skip. Meanwhile, Skip had one good year and one awful year as a manager. Shh. It did.
You hush your mouth.
No, you just settle down. Okay, Blackbeard? You just settle down.
Whoa. You did this to me.
Looks good.
But
Blackbeard Jr.
Everybody wants to praise a manager who has had probably the same, maybe less, or the same success as Oli. And Skip's supposed to be this great manager, and that's just one example. Everybody's always like, to the next guy. We want the next guy. We want the next guy. We don't want Oli. We don't want Oli. Mike Schilt should held on to Schilty. Right now, Schilty's team is behind your team, and he's got a payroll that is at the top of the friggin' league. I'm just saying, at what point do you stop with the emotional crap and actually evaluate that the team has gotten better this season, that the combination of what they have from the pitching coach, the hitting coach, and Oli and everything surrounding is actually working?
Do you know why they won't do it? Do you know why that group of fans won't do it?
Because Oli Marmol was never a fan favorite anywhere. Oli Marmol never played. I see all the comments.
He's Mo's guy.
In my opinion, the main reason why they won't give Oli credit in that situation is for the same reason they won't come off the Jordan Cairo thing, trade him, whatever. They don't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't want to be wrong. Like, we as human beings are very flawed. And if we have a strong take on something, we don't like that player, we don't like that coach, we don't want to be wrong. So we'll just find little loopholes about it. Now, I was right on Kirk Cousins, okay?
You're wrong on that one, Anthony.
I was right on Kirk Cousins.
No, he's going to bounce back this year.
But Oli, if you didn't like Oli before, you're not going to give him credit.
I think the hard part for people to understand is who the hell was going to win with that team that he had 2 years ago?
Besides Albert, Yachty, Skip, and
they
Tony?
They weren't going to win.
Nobody.
Don't forget Joe Madden.
Oh, yeah.
And Joe Madden.
Yeah. Let me ask you this real quick. First of all, for Lisa, I mean, she's just all caps. She hates all of anything I have to say right now. But she says, Skip was a World Series winner. Great. Then he played for a Hall of Famer. What does that have to do with it? That Skip played for a Hall of Famer.
He was a World Series winner as a player.
Yeah, but then he played for a Hall of Famer. What does that have to do with it?
No,
I played for a Hall of Famer. Scotty Bowman.
You are a Hall of Famer, too.
Not giving me the team. But I'm just saying, and then as far as rosters are concerned, Oli this year is exceeding expectation with a roster that nobody nationally gave it any credit for. Yet people on here, I can't find it now, want to say, well, Skip had a terrible roster that second year. So did Oli this year.
Yeah,
last year too.
Yeah, the last couple, those teams were
it just
not
makes no
good.
sense to me.
Quite frankly, I would have rather had Miami's pitching staff than what you've had the last couple of years.
What's wrong with being negative or calling out whatever you see in terms of the team being bad, Oli making bad decisions? If you think that he's making bad decisions, that's fine because he has made bad decisions in the past.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But he's also made some good decisions, and it has this team in a good spot. Why can't you get to that point where you're just saying what you see?
Because people don't want to have perspective like you just shared. They don't want to have that perspective.
But you know what they do? They regurgitate things is what they do. Because right now we get a text on here about Bruce Bochy was the guy. Okay, fine. Bruce Bochy right now is 2 games under 500. He just is. So.
But I don't think Bruce Bochy was going to be here.
But my point is, Anthony, people go back to the magnetic names all the time, like La Russa, Bochy, Dusty Baker, all of these iconic people. And if you're not one of them, you're terrible. Oli Marmol. Who's this guy? Never played.
Yeah.
Which I think is a dumbass statement as well. I don't think you have had to have played at the highest level to be a good manager or a good coach. Mm-hmm. I think it's how you handle certain situations, how you manage people, how well you understand the nuances of whatever sport you're coaching or managing. I don't think you have to have played. And I don't know that players necessarily have to have coaches that played in the sport that they're playing in. It helps. But it's not the end-all, be-all if your coach or manager didn't play.
What's the difference between Mike Schilt and Oli Marmol? Oli Marmol was on that staff. He's younger, but Mike Schilt was in the organization for a long time and worked his way up to being the manager of the Cardinals. So has Oli. You should want to root for somebody that has been in this organization, homegrown.
Right. Yeah, from a non-playing standpoint.
That knows the Cardinal way.
And if Schilt doesn't have that epic 17-game run or whatever, they don't make the playoffs.
No. But you know what? You know what Schilt also has?
A book.
He's got that damn book. You know what he also has? He made the playoffs and was fired. It's that notion of, hey, he had the team pointed in the right direction. We have no idea. It could have been the exact same scenario where they're dreadful, and we're talking about Schilt right now and run him out of town. But he was fired after a postseason run. So the idea in our heads is he was destined. They were just going to keep going up. So he has that in his back pocket too. There's a lot of that. That's another thing people are just clinging on to. Mm-hmm. It was only going to get better. You don't know that.
Can we do this probably once, I don't know, every 3 to 4 months, because people continuously go back to the playoff game with Oli Marmol taking out Quintana, and they want to say, well, he took out Quintana. Jordan Hicks came in, clean inning. Gallegos came in, clean inning. Your damn closer didn't disclose that his finger was falling off the bone. He blew up, didn't pitch well, and you lost the damn game.
And you booted the ball around, too.
Like, the notion that, Quintana was okay.
Yeah, he wasn't throwing 9.
The next 2 innings were clean like that. Right. They were fine.
We know whose fault that was. That was Anthony's fault.
What did he do?
I was sitting right in this chair.
Did he do what I did?
He did, actually. He goes, Marsh, you're going to be fine. I go, no, I have a really bad feeling about this. He goes, no, he's going to strike him out. Bryce Harper walks. Yeah. I think the Phillies scored 6 runs that inning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was not good.
Cardinals haven't been back to the playoffs since.
Carey, Jamie, you guys would appreciate what I did that day.
What'd you do?
Well, Marsh was it was like watching your son just go back and forth. He panicked about it. He was upset. And I tried to comfort him by saying, hey, listen, that turtle was sick.
He didn't believe you?
He did. But the problem is the Cardinals did not support what I was saying.
And he realized that the turtle wasn't actually sick?
Eventually. All right, we got What's Trending with Marcia next on 101 ESPN. You can go yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. Underdog is one of the fastest growing sports game apps, and you can play right now in our state of Missouri. It's simple, fast, and built for fans who want to test their sports knowledge in real time. Their app has over 100,000 five-star reviews and millions of users. People are playing everywhere and also winning big. Here's how it works. Playing on Underdog is a can of corn. Just pick a player, decide whether or not they're going to go higher or lower on their stats, such as home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and more. That's it. That's how you play. And if you get everything right, after you pick the players that you want to go to, again, either higher or lower on their stats, if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. That means you could turn a single dollar into 1,000 just for getting a few picks right at Underdog. So here's what you do. Download the Underdog app, sign up with my promo code Anthony, and then you can unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, that promo code is Anthony. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals sweep the Guardians this weekend, and they'll take on the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. Eric Fetty on the mound going up against Andrew Haney. First pitch is at 5:40. The Cardinals are in a playoff spot right now, and they're 2.5 games behind the Chicago Cubs for the lead in the NL Central. So a big series for the Cardinals as they take on the last place Pittsburgh Pirates. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, it seems as if former Blues captain Alex Pietrangelo is dealing with some serious injuries. He will require multiple major surgeries in the offseason, which will lead to him missing this upcoming season. Thoughts on Petro not playing this upcoming year for the Vegas Golden Knights?
Yeah, it just goes to show you the wear and tear of a guy that's played, 25 minutes a game for I don't even know how many years now. Plays in every situation, blocks shots, sacrifices of himself. And what is he, 34? I think right now, maybe 35, I believe. It adds up, man. I remember getting to that point in the career, too, and you're like, everything's sore. And I think probably the biggest struggle for a player in his situation, and I don't know what is involved here with Alex Pietrangelo exactly, but if he has multiple surgeries that he has to have done, and it's going to take him out for the hockey season or a year, what's left of the body at that point to try and be able to train to get back to where you need to be an elite player? Sometimes you don't have that left in the tank, CD.
No, definitely. Once the surgeries start piling up, your body is changing. And the older you get, the longer it takes to respond or rehab from some of those injuries. And the mental part of it, I think, the physical part, we're generally, we can get through, but the mental aspect, of rehabbing every single day to just get back to the level that you were, and then that level is not as good as you were 5 or 6 years ago. It's like, why am I doing this? Am I wasting my time? Is it going to take too long? So sometimes those injuries start to build up, and it's more mental than it is physical.
Guys, according to Sportsnet, as of 33 seconds ago, Evan Bouchard is signing a 4-year, $42 million extension with the Oilers. Sources confirmed to Sportsnet.
Interesting. 4 years only? I just don't know why he would do that.
How old is he?
Yeah, he's 25 years old.
Another bite at the apple?
Try it again.
I don't know.
Maybe he don't want to be locked in. Maybe he wants to see what they're doing.
Well, you could say another bite at the apple, but he's coming off a couple of monumental seasons in playoffs, to where it's just it makes no sense to me why his representation would have said, "Yeah, let's take was it 4-year deal?
4-year, $42 million.
I mean, the money's great. Listen, $42 million is great, but there was talk of him signing an 8-year deal at $9 to $10 million a year.
Do you want to be locked in somewhere 8 years if Connor McDavid isn't there?
For $80 million? Yeah, I'll do that.
Really?
Yeah.
What if your ultimate goal is to win a championship and you get 4 years and then re-up again?
But what if his next 4 years aren't as good as his last 4 years?
Well, it's kind of
that next bite of the apple is not. It doesn't help you.
It's a risk.
Yeah, I don't.
But we did just get done talking about the contract situation, how certain athletes will say, "Hey, it's not just about the money. I do want to be in a good situation. I don't want to be a spot where I'm stuck and I have to try to force a trade.
Yeah.
And then nobody wants me and all that. I
just don't like it.
There is so Jamie, your surprise, your reaction to this, your shock and all this means there's something there. There's something that why take half of what you could have gotten?
It makes no sense.
There must be a
32
reason.
points in the playoffs last year, 23 points this year, 81 points in 75 playoff games, 67 points this year. He actually had a drop off from 82 points the year before. And Connor McDavid, there's no guarantee he's staying in Edmonton. So the whole of I'd like to stay with Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid has 1 year left.
That's what I said. Yeah. If Connor McDavid isn't going to be here, I don't want to be here for 7 more years after that. 6 more years.
I just see the value of this player lowering throughout the course of this contract.
Well, it is clear that he is happy with his contract situation, given the fact that he signed. You know who's not happy with their contract situation? TJ Watt.
Oh, yeah.
TJ Watt, not happy. And he skipped the team's most recent minicamp, but that's okay because the Steelers picked up some other players that might make Carey happy.
You know, when you get to add Jalen Ramsey to a defense that also includes Minkah Fitzpatrick, that secondary is going to be stout.
Anthony.
Yeah.
We traded Jalen for Minkah.
What's that now?
We actually traded Jalen for Minkah. We traded one all-pro safety for an all-pro corner.
Why would you do that?
Anthony, I don't know.
Instead of, pairing them together.
That's a very good question. Okay. One that smarter men are more aware of. The only answer that I can give you is Steelers been looking for a corner since 2014, when Ike Taylor retired. That's probably the last time we had what some would consider a lockdown corner. They've drafted corners. They've gone out and got corners to play.
Joey Porter's been okay.
He ain't. Here's the thing.
Shut down.
Here's what you need to know. If he was okay, they wouldn't have been trading for Jalen Ramsey.
I'm just saying he's okay.
That's what you. So
I'm not giving up Minkah Fitzpatrick.
I'm not either. The only other answer that I can give you, Minkah has 1 more year after this one. He's probably going to be one of the highest paid safeties in the NFL. Jalen is already under contract for the next few years, so you don't have to revisit that. That's the only other answer that I can give you. They probably don't want to have to go through this. You're going to be paying the highest paid outside linebacker / rush defensive end in TJ Watt, and then paying the highest paid safety in the league. I would assume that that's too much money on the books on the defensive side, and that's all I got. Because they're also going to have a rookie quarterback next year, more than likely. So you'll have extra money. I don't know,
Maybe
Anthony.
Not.
I don't know.
The way they operate.
No, Aaron Rodgers said he's probably one and done.
Well, Kirky's out there.
We don't have enough money for Kirk.
No, we don't need him. It's only 1 more year.
You don't need him.
Anthony, would you consider the Steelers a winner or loser of the 2025 NFL offseason?
Oh, Marsh. I'll never say the Steelers are losers. I just don't know what the hell they're doing. Now, I don't like how you completely overlooked one of the other aspects of that deal.
What?
As Artie, the one-man party, gets his favorite offensive player back, Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith, also part of that deal. You get Jonnu Smith now.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf isn't going to see the ball at all.
So one thing I'm not worried about, and, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is DK Metcalf. This is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about. This is not, I don't know, whatever they had. Who was the quarterback? Not Levis. What was his name? Tannehill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
The ball will be thrown to DK.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah. Clearly, these Steelers have lost the offseason.
You just keep your headsets on.
We'll talk about winners and losers from the NFL offseason, as Marsh just phrased it, next on 101 ESPN.
Bedroom? Not anymore. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores your sex life in just 1 visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate erectile dysfunction and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Paramount Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results.
Jamie, one of the things I love about Stewie, our guy who's on the line right now, is that he always gives us nuggets on certain things that we should be paying attention to. So, Stewie, what do you got on annual percentage rates?
Well, most people don't even know what the APR means. They say, oh, the APR, what does that mean? Your APR, your annual percentage rate, that is your true cost of money. We had a customer come in today and said, hey, my credit union is giving me this rate. Can you match or beat that rate with the bagel loan, no closing costs? I said, let me see your estimate. No, you don't have to look at it. Give me the estimate. No, there's no fees. Gave me the estimate over $6,000 in fees. This is a big deal because if you're only saving $40 a month between my rate and your rate, and you have to spend $6,000 to get it, you're never going to recover those costs. So be smart. Check out the APR. When you're calling lenders, say, what's the note rate? What's the APR? If it's more than an 8% difference, you're being taken somehow, some way. Be smart. Give us a call. We'll show you how to read it.
Stewie always talks about getting a second opinion, always. And this is a great example right there. You might think you're getting a great deal. You might think the person you're talking to has got you covered. Maybe not. And if the case is that you're not being covered or taken care of, Stewie's going to cover that for you. He's going to take care of you and make sure you leave happy. So please pick up your phone, call or text my guy Stewie today. His number is 314-324-4440.
Again, that number is 314-324-4440.
He's our guy and needs to be your guy. So please call him. If you can't remember that number, Anthony, what can they do?
You can always Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Stay cool, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
It's Fastline on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Winners and losers from the 2025 offseason. Well, we're just talking about a team that absolutely lost over the offseason. It is Carey's Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Carey won't tell you
that. We don't play the games on paper.
When you sign Aaron Rodgers and then trade one of your best defensive players to acquire a really good defense player.
Nah, he's a top tier.
And you don't have your best defensive player signed yet.
And you don't have your best player signed. And you still got Artie them in one-man party calling your plays. You lost this offseason, so I think the Steelers fall into that loser category. Sorry, CB. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I am. I know you do. I know you don't like hearing it.
You
think I like hearing it when people like the Falcons are perennial losers? It doesn't feel good, but I have to face reality and the truth hurts. If you can't handle the truth, I'm sorry. No, I won't even do it to you.
That way?
Nope, won't even do it to you.
Sorry, Carey.
No, because I care about you.
Yeah.
But you got to hear this. Your Steelers had a miserable offseason.
It's just getting started. Season hasn't even started yet.
I know. We're just talking about. I know we're talking about the offseason though, and what we think.
Yeah, we can't talk about the season yet because there's nothing to go on.
Well, some of the teams that they do think are winners, of course, Philadelphia Eagles. Another outstanding offseason, both through the draft, re-signing some key players back to their team, giving an extension to Saquon Barkley, Zach Bond, extending him, which was he played outstanding last year. He was amazing. Another team they got on here, which
what's the deal? What's the article? Athletic?
The Athletic, yeah, courtesy of the Athletic. Another team they have on here, Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
The Minnesota Vikings, they have them as winners. How do you feel about that, Anthony?
I don't know if I put him in the winner category,
Can you be a winner when your starting quarterback isn't your starting quarterback?
Well, he is your starting quarterback.
No, you got a new guy that hasn't played a snap yet.
I don't think they've... I don't know. I mean, they certainly have upgraded the trenches, right? They got Jonathan Allen.
Yeah.
They got Hargrave.
Javon Hargrave.
They got Ryan Kelly, right? Will Fries. I mean, they bolstered both lines. We'll see what happens with J.J. McCarthy. I guess I'd put them in the winner category for doing what they did in the trenches.
They did a good job in the trenches. I think the only issue that I have is your starting quarterback from last year is no longer there. And you don't know what you're getting.
You don't like that guy. You think he's toilet paper.
No. I thought he did an outstanding job for the Minnesota Vikings.
Single ply.
I thought he did. Well, that gets hairy. You got to be careful with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, Carey. Well said.
I thought he did an outstanding job. I don't know why you picked him as your most intriguing player for the
I didn't choose him as my most intriguing.
I said he's got the most approved.
I believe he said MVP.
Yeah.
Based on these comments, you keep proving it.
It's ridiculous. But I don't know what the I just don't know what J.J. McCarthy is. He could be outstanding. It's left to be seen.
Yeah.
So I have no clue.
I think you have to put the Bears in this category.
The Bears are definitely in the category.
Have to, with the way that they upgrade. Like, I don't know if it'll all come together, but you have to. With the way they traded for Joe Tooney. They got Jonah Jackson. They signed Drew Dahlman, who wasn't healthy last year, but was the best center available. And they're trying to do so in terms of protecting Caleb Williams. Plus, they added
the best upgrade is the head coach.
Yes.
Like you feel like Ben Johnson is going to be able to do all of the things that he was able to do in Detroit. If he comes close to that, this offense is going to be buzzing, and they're going to be one of the top offenses in the league. So I think they are another team. You want to go to the losers?
Sure.
You have any guesses? The Steelers are on the loser side, which I think is ridiculous. Yeah. But nonetheless.
If I'm guessing, I haven't seen the article. Steelers. 49ers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 49ers. Based on
trading Debo and
I mean, a lot of their guys, Javon Hargrave, who we just talked about, Travarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, all of those guys no longer on the team, moved on. You talked about Debo Samuel as well with the Commanders. Yeah. They lost a lot of pieces, and then they signed their quarterback to an extension. So who knows what this team is going to look like going forward.
I'll give you one. I'll take a guess, and I wonder, Jamie's not going to be happy. But I think there's a case to be made the Lions had a bad offseason.
They are. They're on there. You lose both coordinators in the offseason.
Yes.
That right there alone.
Isn't it time for the gauntlet here soon?
That alone is a cause for concern.
Hey, you get Hutch back.
Yeah, you do.
That's like making a trade for one of the best defensive players in the league.
That's what Anthony always says.
I know.
I agree.
He's never been more right.
Yeah. But you losing both of your coordinators, it's going to be interesting to see how that offense plays in comparison to what they were last year.
On autopilot, Carey's just fine.
There's a rhythm to being a play caller. And if you have Ben Johnson, who had been doing it for so many years with that group, he was on autopilot. Like he could probably call plays in his sleep and they would be able to run them. But it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out for them this year as well.
So who else was on the losers list and winners list for them?
Miami Dolphins on the losers list. New Orleans Saints, who lost their quarterback after he retired out of nowhere. And the draft.
You weren't great with them.
They weren't. Those are all the losers that they have. And the winners are the Las Vegas Raiders, talked about Chicago Bears, the Minnesota Vikings, the Philadelphia Eagles, and a surprising team on here, which the New England Patriots as a winner. So you got one team poor and then your other favorite team on the winner side. How you feel?
We'll see. See when the first snap happens, okay, pal?
Yeah. They made an upgraded coach with Mike Vrabel, even though I don't feel like I can't remember his name now. The other head coach, he didn't get a fair shake.
Oh, Bill Belichick.
No, not after him. They had one guy.
Yeah, Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo. Yeah, he didn't get that much of a fair shake. But
I don't know if he was very good.
Who does? Who knows?
I just don't know.
Who
I feel like
knows?
he lost control of that room. He lost
They were climbing uphill the first week. Remember? Take him to the hill.
He loved it.
I was so excited.
You were so pumped.
Take him to the hill, like,
Yeah.
And then that's all he had, though.
And they just ran downhill from that point. They rolled down from that point.
Coach, we lost by 27. Take it to the hill.
Yep.
What are we going to do to change that? I don't know. Let's find the hill.
We'll find the answers on the hill. Just wrong.
Yeah.
All right, Gauntlet. Next on 101 ESPN.
Cheap, fun. Let's get dirty here in the summertime with my friends over at Dirt Cheap. Made a little pit stop before going to the lake. Visited my friends over at Dirt Cheap, the Kiska Road location. Went there, got a couple of things. It certainly had some Busch Light, Mick Ultra, then the bourbons and some wines, and had to make sure we had enough for everybody. And the price is always right over there at Dirt Cheap. Again, Dirt Cheap is about the amount of money you're spending, not the product. They have amazing products. Got myself a bottle of Camus red wine. That is awesome stuff. So whether it's grad parties, birthday parties, July 4th coming up here on Friday as well, or you're going to the lake or float trip, stop in to Dirt Cheap and get what you need for your party. They are your one-stop party shop. They've also got a great rewards app that you just download the app and then you start saving immediately. You can use the app to schedule a pickup curbside or delivery, and a couple of locations still have drive-thrus as well. So absolutely no reason not to be visiting my friends over at Dirt Cheap. For more information, check out some of the specials and things like that. Visit them at cheapcheapfunfun.com. Again, that's cheapcheapfunfun.com. Remember to have fun out there, but please be careful.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
406, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. And for the second straight show, we welcome back Darren. What's up, Darren?
Hey, not much, guys. How are you?
Good. So you won the pitcher's duel against Carey on Friday in the Gauntlet, and you're back to take on either Jamie, Marsh, or me. So,
yeah.
What?
I'm going to take on you, sir.
Oh, no.
Sure. Wow.
I don't like that. I don't like the way he said it. I don't feel good. All right, Darren. Good luck to you, man.
Hey, you too.
Thank you.
All right, our guy Anthony headed off to the Kona sides. I think he's got Grant in there at least today to hang out with a little bit. While he's doing that, Darren, tell my guy Marshy to spin that wheel, please.
Marsh, spin that wheel, please.
All right, what do you want against our guy Anthony, Darren?
I think anything but hockey, and I feel okay.
Okay, all right. Well, I got good news for you. It's not hockey.
Okay.
It's football.
Oh.
Not what?
All right. That's his sport, so we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, while Marshy's handing up the questions here, as you know, each question's worth 2 points if you do not use the options. If you use the options and get it right, it's worth 1 point. Wrong answers are 0 points. And if we're tied after 4 questions, as you know, Darren, we will go to a tiebreaker. Be closest to the pin, and we will get a winner today in the Gauntlet. Are you ready, my friend?
I am.
All right, here we go. Again, the category is football. Question 1. Which defensive player led the league in interceptions last year?
Options?
All right. Was it Xavier McKinney, Kirby Joseph, or Marlon Humphrey?
Kirby Joseph. Final answer.
Question number 2. Which player won AP Defensive Player of the Year last season?
Options, please.
Is it Kirby Joseph, Patrick Surtain, or Trey Hendrickson?
Oh, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with my Broncos and go with PS2. Final answer.
Question number 3. Name the only wide receiver that finished in the top 10 of NFL MVP voting last season.
The only wide receiver?
Only wide receiver that finished in the top 10 of NFL MVP voting last season.
I'm guessing who the choices are going to be. So I'll just go with Jamar Chase, please.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 4. Name the kicker that finished the season with the most field goals made of any kicker in the NFL.
For 2024?
Correct.
Options, please.
Was it Chris Boswell, Brandon Aubrey, or Cameron Dicker?
What was that last one?
Cameron Dicker.
Can you spell the last name for me?
Sure can. D-I-C-K-E-R.
Sorry, Jamie. I just wanted to hear you spell it.
Yeah, no matter.
I'll go with, who was the first one?
Are we doing this again? Really?
just the first one. Just the first one.
All right, Chris Boswell.
I'll go with him, please.
All right. Okay, let's get our guy Anthony back in here. How you feeling, Darren?
We'll see.
Okay.
I know Anthony knows his football, so yeah, we'll see. I don't think it's going to be a 1-to-1 and going into overtime.
Okay. All right. Well, he's back. Going to plug his ears in. Anthony, how is it in the old Kona Sands?
Grant and I had a pleasant conversation about our weekends and the radio biz in general. Just good stuff. Yeah, Grant's a good kid. Good kid.
Good kid.
Yeah. Good young man.
Good young man. Yeah. Got a bright future.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Your category, football.
I haven't had football in a while. All right. I'm pretty pumped.
Pack a lunch.
I did, actually. Yeah, made some chicken in a
Meatballs?
crock. No, I made some chicken in a crock pot. I'm going to
Okay.
combine some fun stuff there. Chicken, like a little Mexican dish. It's good.
Did you know that, do you know what the word for
Pollo.
cheese is? In
Yes, I do,
Spanish?
of course. It's queso.
There you go.
Yeah. Pollo is chicken.
Good job.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Okay. Question 1. Which defensive player led the league in interceptions last year?
Led the league in interceptions last season. Who had a bunch of picks? Let's narrow it down. Can I have the options, please?
Was it Xavier McKinney, Kirby Joseph, or Marlon Humphrey?
Kirby Joseph of the Lions. I think it was Kirby Joseph. Kirby Joseph, final answer.
Question number 2. Which player won AP Defensive Player of the Year last season?
Oh, AP Defensive Player of the Year. That would have been... was it TJ Watt? AP Defensive Player of the Year. I think was it Watt or was it Myles Garrett? I don't think it was Garrett. I think it was Watt. TJ Watt, final answer.
Question number 3. Name the only wide receiver that finished in the top 10 of NFL MVP voting last season.
Had to be Jamar Chase. Yeah, Jamar Chase, final answer.
All right. Final question. Name the kicker that finished the season with the most field goals made of any kicker in the NFL.
Most field goals?
Made, yes.
Most field goals made.
Correct.
Somebody that had a lot of opportunities. And cash on those opportunities. Was it your guy Bates in Detroit? Wasn't Justin Tucker. We know that. I'll take the options in case I'm forgetting somebody.
Was it Chris Boswell, Brandon Aubrey, or Cameron Dicker?
I'm glad
the kicker.
Glad I asked. Boy, Boswell was needed a lot. He made a lot. Let's go with Chris Boswell. Final answer.
Okay. Whew. Let's go over these. Let's see here.
Start there.
Yeah, let's start there. Name the kicker that finished the season with the most field goals made of any kicker in the NFL. Our guy Darren took the options and said Chris Boswell. Anthony Stalter took the options, said Chris Boswell. Carey, answer is
Chris Boswell.
Chris Boswell.
Here we go.
Nice job, Darren.
Yep.
Here we go.
Won't lead it this year.
Let's go to question 3.
Won't be in the red zone.
Would you two stop? Name the only wide receiver that finished in the top 10 of NFL MVP voting last season. Darren, you said Jamar Chase. Anthony, without the options, you said Jamar Chase. Marshy, answer is?
It is Jamar Chase.
But Darren did not need the options either.
Nice job, Darren.
We are
You too.
3-3 here after 2. Let's go to question 1.
Man.
Which defensive player led the league in interceptions last season? Darren, you said Kirby Joseph. Anthony, you said Kirby Joseph. Carey, answer is?
ILL. Kirby Joseph. I.
Neither of you were able to get the answer without the options. So you got 1-1 on that one. 4-4 heading into our final question. Which player won AP Defensive Player of the Year last season?
Yeah.
Darren with the option said Patrick Surtain. Anthony without the options said T.J. Watt. One of you is right. Darren.
You have chosen wisely.
Oh, no.
Patrick Surtain, AP Defensive Player of the Year.
Nice job, Darren.
Gets you 5-4 today.
Forgot about
That
him.
one got me a couple months ago.
Did it?
Yes.
Who'd you say? Miles Garrett?
Yeah. We just skipped past Patrick Surtain. Who the hell remembers that?
Darren.
Clearly Darren.
Yeah.
Good job, Darren.
I don't remember
Darren said
that.
he went with him because he's a fan of the Broncos.
Oh, well, no, well, there you go. Nice work.
Yep. That's the only reason I knew.
Neither
Darren,
one of
well
those
done,
guys were on the options.
Well done. Congratulations. And TJ Watt wasn't?
No.
Nope. Neither was Miles Garrett.
Who were the options?
Oh.
Kirby Joseph, Patrick Surtain, and Trey Hendrickson.
I would have definitely got Surtain then.
Yeah.
Hey, Darren, nice job. Congratulations, man. Well done. That was impressive. You'll be back tomorrow for round 3.
Thanks, Anthony.
Nice job.
We have a little bit of a hobby farm out where I live, and every time an animal dies, we use the hit with sticks.
Does it work with the little ones?
It does until my wife and I make eye contact, and then we just lose it.
Well, I'm glad at least my father's who's sick. The turtle is sick. Is still able to go on. So, Darren, we're gonna talk to you tomorrow, man. Congrats.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Nice job.
You too, Darren.
That was impressive.
You got every question right.
You got every question right. Yeah. Nice work there. I vaguely remember that you had that.
I did. Yeah.
Yep.
This is the same question?
Yeah.
I guess. Well, it obviously didn't help us.
Clearly.
It didn't help me. I needed hockey, boys.
Wow.
The hockey guy.
I am shocked.
Speaking of hockey, Mitch Marner has been traded to the Vegas Golden Knights.
Whoa.
And he's signed an 8-year times $12 million contract. Elliot Friedman reporting that Brad Marchand closing in on a 6-year contract extension in Florida.
Wow.
So the Panthers somehow are going to find a way to run it back.
Holy smokes.
I don't know how. They've got zero cap dollars right now before the Marchand deal.
What do you think of the Marner thing?
The Marner thing, apparently there's tentacles to this. That maybe somebody had talked to Vegas last offseason about the potential unrestricted free agency. So there was Marchand and I were laughing because there were reports. I didn't come up with this report saying that if the Vegas Golden Knights can work out a trade with Toronto, Toronto will not file for tampering. Mm-hmm. So it's like tampering and blackmail all the same.
Tampering with a dash of blackmail.
Welcome to the NHL house.
Nice job. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Jamie, I believe you were the one that posed this question to us. It's an interesting one that you can kind of break down for us. Mm-hmm. Is Pedro Pages exactly what the Cards needed behind the dish? I'm heading to the penalty box. We'll discuss that next on 101 ESPN. from the penalty box. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. I can't hear myself, so I have no idea if this is on.
You're doing great, Anthony.
Shouldn't even
This thing on?
I shouldn't even wear headphones. Doesn't matter.
You can't hear yourself.
It's the worst.
I was wondering why the hell you were behind me. I'm like, why? We can't come back. Oh, Anthony's.
I just lost Darren in the gauntlet.
You like him behind you?
Well, he's fine. You behind me, on the other hand.
What? I don't understand the difference.
Oh, you know the difference.
Yeah. You know you.
Sick individual. Speaking of Jamie.
I thought you were talking to Carey.
Yeah.
Jamie, why did you pose the question, is Pedro Pages exactly what the Cardinals need behind the plate?
Well, because the more that I hear things and read things and follow up on certain articles and whatnot, a lot of people are absolutely raving about the way he calls a game behind the plate. And this goes back to a couple of years ago when they signed Wilson Contreras. And we do know that at the time, Wilson did things differently, apparently. The pitchers didn't like the way Wilson called the game, and we got mad and said, hey, you know what? You have the pitch comm, too. You can tell Wilson what you want to pitch, and you don't have to, instead of throwing it right over the middle of the plate, you can maybe nibble the corners a little bit.
Sure.
But either way, that was Wilson's fault. And now Wilson's a first baseman. He's playing great over there. Probably happy to be away from that crap, to be honest with you. But now Pedro Pages come in, and a relatively unknown player. I'm not going to lie. I didn't really know who Pedro Pages was when he came in here. And maybe you guys knew more than I did, but I was like, who the heck is this? Because we thought the succession plan was automatically Herrera. Because we'd heard about him. We saw the offense, his bat would create, all that stuff. But now you got Pages in a situation where the last game Sonny Gray pitched, on record saying the one time he didn't listen to Pages, he gave up a hit. And so if you're carrying that much clout behind the plate now as a play caller, I'm not sure defensively if he's an elite catcher. I'd have to go pull up some things here. He doesn't have an elite throwing arm, that's for sure. But the way he's calling the game behind the plate and the way the pitchers are having success right now, in particular Sonny Gray and Matthew Liberatore, I just wonder, because it looks like you have enough offense now to surround a guy like Pages, who he runs into one every now and then. He does. But you're not counting on it, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So is he the perfect guy right now?
I'm counting on it tonight, Jamie.
I know you are. But is he the perfect guy right now? Because, when we go back to the latter years of Yachty, the offense not quite there. We know that. He dropped in the lineup and whatnot. But and I'm not comparing Pages to Yachty, but everybody raved about the way he called the game. Now, Yachty had a cannon for an arm, and people wouldn't even dare try to steal against him. So that's why Yachty's a Hall of Famer, and I don't think Pedro Pages will ever be that. But is he finally unlocking certain things for the pitching staff by calling a good game?
Well, and nothing against Poso, but I do wonder where you'd be without Pedro Pages right now. Now, maybe there was a reason why Contreras was moved to first, or there were several reasons. One, you wanted to extend the life of his career, him getting behind the plate every time, him be last year's banged up a lot. You want that bat in the offense, and you also want to make sure that you free up the DH spot like we're seeing now with guys like Gorman and Burleson and Herrera when he's healthy. But the other thing that I think was important to moving Contreras to first base was that you were comfortable with Pedro Pages. So I wonder where you'd be without Pedro Pages right now from the standpoint of calling the game. I know this is just one game, but the one thing that really stood out to me in the Sonny Gray performance, look how many Cleveland Guardians stood there watching strike three, which is an indication to me that they didn't know what was coming. They guessed wrong. And that is part of the preparation that is done by Sonny Gray and Pedro Pages. So they're standing there, not because like Sonny Gray threw some magical pitch. It was they guessed wrong. They eliminated the wrong pitch. They were stunned. Now they're hoping the location's going to be off, and it wasn't. That was really telling, and that goes to what you're saying, Jamie, the chemistry, not only between Sonny Gray, but several of these pitchers with Pedro Pages. That was really impressive. So is he the right guy right now? Yeah, I think he's the right guy right now.
I think he's the perfect guy for this moment right now. I think the issue is, and I've said this all along, is when Herrera comes back, does he play? Does Pages continue to play? If so, then that means somebody else, one of your bats that have started to heat up, won't be in the lineup.
That's correct.
So that's, to me, the biggest problem. The biggest problem that they're going to have is a healthy Herrera and Nolan Gorman, Alec Burleson, all hitting well, and now you have to figure out how to split up time amongst all of those guys. And I don't think it's possible.
No, you do bring up a really good point. If Burleson is hitting and Gorman is hitting like they both are, both guys are red hot. What do you do when Herrera comes back? And oh, by the way,
we haven't even spoke about Jordan
Walker. Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
So I think that's ultimately where the fork in the road happens, and the Cardinals will have to make a trade. They'll have to trade something, whether it's Herrera that they trade and get something, because his stock has to be pretty high, at least as a hitter. It's got to be pretty high. And there'll be teams out there that think that they can work with him as a young catcher. He's still only 22, I believe. So there is a lot of future ahead for him. Or maybe it's Gorman. Maybe now that Gorman's stock is finally back to where it wants to be, like CD said a couple of years ago, trade him. Well, okay, well, now maybe you can. And now you get that pitcher or something that you come in and you start to add to your roster by subtracting in other areas that you have a surplus in.
Yeah. Katie Wu, by the way, was on with BK and Ferrario, and she discussed with the guys the value of Pages behind the plate.
Look, I understand from a fan's perspective, there aren't a lot of good, informative, qualitative stats that show why Pedro Pages is a good catcher. In fact, a lot of his metrics suggest that he is just average. But when you have the opportunity to talk to the starting rotation, the relievers, Oli Marmol, Dusty Blake, go on and on about the preparation and how much trust this pitching staff has in their catcher, I tend to go off that. And again, from a fan standpoint, you're like, well, okay, how can I see that? How can you prove that? I thought Sonny Gray, having Pedro come over in his post-game interview, proved that. I mean, that a veteran guy doesn't do that to a young catcher for no reason. That was something that absolutely had intent behind it. And we're seeing this more and more with Pedro, why he's in the lineup every day, why there's a reluctance to pitch it for him, because you lose the game-calling aspect of the game. Look, I know he doesn't jump off the page from a stat perspective, but if we're looking at the ERA is a great example of this. If we're looking for what Pedro Pages brings to the staff, I mean, does any fan base understand how important it is to have a pivotal game-calling catcher more than the Cardinals? They had one of the best in baseball for almost 2 decades. So, and I'm in no way comparing the two, but I do think what Pedro Pages is doing might not jump out on Baseball Savant or StatCast, but it's absolutely made an impact for the starting rotation, especially, guys, we're all pretty low on this rotation coming into the season, and it's actually been a pretty big crutch for this Cardinals team. Pedro has a lot of responsibility behind that.
There you have it. As much as you love to have 9 mashers in the lineup, it's not possible. You want length in your lineup. You want the depth. You want to have guys that can get on base and also have power. But some of these guys, they just have to be in there defensively. And if that's your catcher, I don't think that's a bad route to go. So for right now, Pedro Pages has been really good for this Cardinals team and for this starting staff. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Send in your questions to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. We got part 1 of the Sports Six-Pack next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. After sweeping the Cleveland Guardians, the Cardinals have a date tonight with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Eric Fetty on the mound going up against Andrew Haney. First pitch tonight is at 5:40. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Part 1 of the Sports Six-Pack is next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
Time for part 1 of the Sports Six-Pack here on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and here is Andrew Marsh.
Question number 1.
All right, first question comes from the 618. If you guys could add one former Cardinals reliever to this current team, who would it be?
Izzy. He's the only choice.
Yeah, there is no other
outside
answer.
of Brad Thompson.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Lee Smith?
Yeah, Bruce Sutter.
It's Izzy or BT. That's it.
Lee Smith?
Excellent. Yeah.
It's fine.
What?
Jamie.
The hell are we talking about?
Jamie.
Oh, man.
So, Izzy, I'll say aye.
Nay.
None against Izzy. I get
Apparently
one.
you do.
Yeah, feels like
I'm
it.
going Lee Smith. What are we doing?
Well, you might like Lee Smith.
I do.
But Izzy's the answer.
Lee Smith is incredible. Have you seen his cutter?
You might like Lee Smith, but you love Izzy.
We love Izzy.
I love Lee Smith.
Okay, Carey, you know what?
Yeah,
that's fine.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
You said one.
Go ahead. Lee Smith and you, there, Marshy?
I was going to maybe throw out Bruce Sutter.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can I entertain you with the 2006 Adam Wainwright?
No.
They don't care about our opinion anymore. So we didn't agree with them, Marshy.
It's not that you disagreed.
Yeah,
you didn't say. You didn't even do the Izzy chant.
No, you didn't participate at all, which was weird.
You guys said give you one former player, one former Cardinal. I mean,
no, not one former Cardinal. One former reliever.
Yeah, and we gave you 2 Hall of Famers, and you gave us Jason Isringhausen.
Yeah.
Who is a Cardinals Hall of Famer. Thank you, Carey.
Yeah, but those guys were Hall of Famers.
I don't see the difference, quite honestly.
Okay. Marshy, you just going to leave me here? Bearded brother, you're just going to leave me here?
Am I not on your team?
Yeah,
I haven't been listening to anything they've been saying.
Question number 2.
Clearly, you didn't listen to the question.
Carey.
that you asked.
Carey, this one's from the 618. Carey, do you think the Cardinals have gotten that much worse over the past few years, or did the Central Division just get that much better? The Central Division is the only division with 4 teams with over a .520 win percentage.
Well, I think the Cardinals stunk for 2 years. I think they played a part in why they were so bad. So, yeah. But the division has gotten better. I think, they're looking around. The Reds, they're trying to figure some things out. The Brewers have been good. The Cubs are really good this year. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think the last couple of years were the Cardinals just weren't good.
Yeah.
And I think that was the main part of it.
Question number 3.
Thank you, Marsh.
Carey, this one comes from ThrillFan22. With the Pittsburgh Steelers signing Aaron Rodgers and trading for DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey, and Jonnu Smith, do you think that Mike Tomlin has told the Steelers that this will be his final year coaching? Are they giving Tomlin his best chance to go out on top?
Nah, I don't think Mike T is going to walk away. I think they're going to have to drag him up out of there. Or when he decides to leave, it'll be... I don't think he's going to leave on Aaron Rodgers last year and hitch himself to old Aaron. I think he will be a Steelers coach until he feels that he can no longer do it or no longer wants to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think the Steelers are going to surprise some people, especially a couple of people in this studio. You know what I mean, Marshy? Couple guys in this studio.
Oh, there's other people in here.
Yeah, I forgot they were here. Yeah, those two guys.
You can leave.
You want to go?
Yeah. That's fun, boys.
You want to call Izzy?
Yeah. Need him over at Fast
You call
Eddie.
Izzy and ask him. I think he'll say Lee Smith as well.
I don't.
You know, Izzy probably would say that because Izzy,
he's a great guy.
Yeah, but Izzy's not gonna. He's not a self-promoter.
I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with Lee Smith.
Look, Lee Smith is great.
So is Izzy. I agree with you.
The 618, a couple other people chiming in. What about Dennis Eckersley?
He's pretty damn good, too.
Which version of the act do we get?
The Cardinals version, of course.
Can we get the A's version of the act? Because if so, that might be the answer. Otherwise, it is Jamie. Izzy. I mean, at least do the chant, guys. That's I don't.
The fact that you don't do the chant
is I don't
really
mind
weird.
the opinion.
We can do the chant once the question has been
once we get past the question.
It was it.
We're still talking about it.
Whenever we do the chant, we need full participation, regardless of where we're at.
Honestly,
we need to get Lee Smith on these airwaves.
I have been let down. I've been let down on these shows.
What did you say? I love this guy.
What did he say?
Nothing. I actually said nothing.
What did he say?
It was between. It was between us. I know what he did. Yeah, it's good. No, we're good.
We're good, guys.
We're okay.
So's Lee. He's good too.
Good too. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Is that it, Marsh? Is that 3 questions?
That's 3 questions.
Right,
One question for you guys because you decided to basically tell everybody what we thought. You know?
No. We didn't do that at
You
all.
decided to put words in our mouth.
Nah, don't put anything in my mouth.
Neither Jamie nor I put anything in your mouth, okay?
No.
Period.
They tried to.
They tried to.
No, we didn't.
No.
If we did, you'd know it.
100% you know it.
No, you tried. You even started chanting. Make your voices louder to downplay.
Marshy, how many years have you been doing this job with us? Whenever we chant Izzy, it doesn't matter what the situation
is. But the question was.
But it doesn't matter.
It's the question.
You
Just show a little respect, guys.
You always chant Izzy.
Always.
All right, let's
blindly chant Izzy, and then we'll figure it out later.
Let's settle down. Okay, the question now has been wrapped up.
Has it?
Yes, I'm done with it.
But
Carey, are you good to move on?
I am good.
Okay, now we shall chant his name.
It's rule number 44 in the fast lane.
Well played, by the way.
Thank you. You always chant Izzy. Now, I'm not going to do it
unless it's asking us a question.
No, you do it regardless, and then you're entitled to your opinion after.
Well, no,
Jamie,
he's not the answer.
I'm not
He
doing
wasn't
this.
our answer.
I'm not doing the chant on some sort of
No, I can't do it either. I can't do
my
it.
heart's not into it now.
It's like, okay, fine, we'll do it now.
Yeah, no,
You're
I
not
don't think so.
Oh,
entitled
you guys
to
don't want
it
to do
now.
the chant now?
No, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
They don't want to do the chant.
Anthony, you know why? We can't fake the chant.
Exactly.
And I won't do that to
And we're not
Izzy.
faking our answers over here.
That chant comes from deep, Marsh. Deep in us. Okay?
How deep?
Very deep.
As deep as you need it.
The depths of our souls. That's how deep.
That's right.
All right. Part 2 of the 6-pack next. Let's hope Marsh and Carey clean up their act before part 2 of the 6 are next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
This is Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marshall, Anthony Stalter. Keep those questions coming in. Part 2 of the Sixer. 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. Marsh, continue, please.
Question number 4.
From the 573, hey, fellas, quick question. Why am I okay with the NFL streaming their games via Amazon Prime, etc., but I get so bleeping pissed when Major League Baseball has the audacity to do the same?
Wow, that's a great question.
I think everybody was up in arms a little bit, too. When Amazon came in, they're like, oh, I got to do it. Like, it's just one more thing. And then we have, 1 or 2 games now on Peacock, or a playoff game every year now on Peacock for the NFL.
I mean, they're on everything. Netflix got in on the action.
Going, so, I don't know.
Crunchyroll?
It's one game a week.
Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
So you're going to watch it if your team is playing.
Who doesn't have Prime? Like, I'm being honest, right? I'm sure some people don't, but
a lot of people do.
Most people have Prime.
Yeah.
Like, so when you click on it, it's literally
simple.
just pulls up. Like, it's the first thing you see is the game.
And a lot of people have Netflix too. Yeah, it's not like it's if you have Netflix or you have Prime, it's not like it's difficult to find. It's right there.
As soon as you open the app, it's the first thing that they show you.
It's mostly, let's be honest here, it's mostly the apps that people don't have.
And I'm not a fan of all these games being on apps. I've said it before. It would be good if more people, more eyeballs could see the product easily, especially when it comes to Major League Soccer. I think they've really missed an opportunity to grow the game because fewer eyeballs are on it because it's like, Apple? I don't know, this, that.
You're right. That is why people are not watching it.
Do you think it'd be different if it was on Netflix, though? Do you think the provider itself, in terms of the TV shows and the amount of coverage those shows get, whereas like people are like, oh, I'll just go to Netflix. There's a reason why it's not called Amazon Prime or Apple TV Plus or not, and chill, right? It's Netflix and chill.
What do you mean by that?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, if I'm going to watch the game, I don't know if I'm going to chill.
You're not going to be,
I'm talking about the TV shows.
More chilling than watching.
Well, you remember in the pandemic, Netflix and chill.
Yeah, Netflix and chill. But it's not like Hulu and chill, right? It's Netflix because people tend to just go to Netflix.
Because it came out first.
Came out first, but there's more shows, right?
More people have downloaded Netflix. The pandemic certainly created a massive boom for Netflix downloads.
Oh, big time.
If I was able to just click on Netflix or Amazon Prime, and it's already part of a package that I currently have and want, and MLS came up and our team was playing, I'd check out a few more games. I really would. But the fact that now I have to go pay for another app in Apple, and I don't really use the Apple TV app for anything else.
And that's my point, because there's not a ton of shows compared to the other ones. Not saying that there's bad shows on Apple by any means, because there are some good shows.
What you're saying is if it was on Netflix, you could justify it a lot more because you're already watching it anyways, and now it's on that platform as opposed to, I got you, Apple TV, where you have that subscription because of Ted Lasso.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Severance.
Which
is that a good show?
Second season lost. Kristen and I were outie. The first season was good. The second one, I started to feel like, do we have any sort of payoff at all? And once I realized, and maybe there is now, Marsh, you're staying with it seems like, but once I'm like, I don't care anymore about what when I get to the point when I want those people to just perish, I'm done with the whole show.
Wow. Anthony, there's typically not a payoff in episode 4. You have to wait till the
You got to give me
finale.
something.
You got to make me want to nibble.
You got to give me something. I'm not saying pay the whole thing off. I'm talking about give me one bleeping payoff. Just one. Answer one thing, Lost. One thing before you decide not to do any payoffs. Am I right, CD?
That's a good point. Yeah, sure. Good point.
On Lost?
Oh, not that.
CD's lost.
No.
CD is lost
that was
right
the
now.
Worst. Listen,
I've pay off anything? Lost?
I've watched
really?
a lot of shows, and still to this day, the most frustrated I have ever been with the ending of a show. I could have put hands on somebody.
Same.
I could have put hands on a writer.
If there was a real purge, Carey, you and I are knocking on that writer's door.
You're telling me that
Explain this.
Get out.
Help
Explain
me.
it, or this is it.
Let's go.
You're telling me that series had a worse ending than Game of Thrones?
I didn't see Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. This is the worst. It's no ending, Marshy. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what I watched.
Hey, you wasted
What was
your
it,
time.
7 seasons?
Yeah.
I don't know what I watched for those years. I would fight.
They just woke up one day and were like, I'm just going to end it.
What are we doing?
Carey, you know the other thing, too? You know the other thing that really got me on that? They did the time travel thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what's real and what's not.
Unless you're Back to the Future, do not do the time travel thing.
Yeah.
But I stuck with you because I thought there was going to be a payoff.
It had
I thought you were going to answer stuff. So I did the whole time. Oh, I'm back present. Now I'm future. Now I'm that.
Were they
I hated
alive?
it. I don't care.
Are they?
You didn't answer a damn thing, Lost.
No. Yeah.
Not a damn
You
thing.
just lost everyone in the process.
That was very puzzling.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of games being on certain platforms and whatnot.
Yeah, sure.
Thoughts on every single Cardinal game this weekend being on a different platform?
A little frustrating if you don't have them all. Maybe you're as angry as CD and I are now thinking about our time lost with Lost. But yeah, not great, but it is rare.
It is rare.
Yeah.
Question number 5.
All right, Ryan Day.
Dr. Xander, thank you. Get out of my face with the time travel. Exactly, Dr. Xander.
The Ryan Day
never been done
challenge was completed today. And Carey and I, our beards and mustaches are black. The Water Boy says, speaking of beards, who has or had the best beard in sports?
Oh, Brett Kiesel had a great one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Brett, I'm going to tell you a true story. Like, Brett shaved his beard off one day and was in the locker room, and I had no clue it was him.
Sure.
Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
He's like, Kiesel. No, it's not. I never knew what his face looked like. And he shaved.
Show us your face.
Show us your face. Charlie Blackman got a good one, too.
Joe Thornton and Brent Burns have pretty good beards.
Yeah, Brent Burns kind of had the Kiesel.
Yeah, and Thornton's got that big, thick-ass beard that he had going, all the gray in it. That's a big beard.
You know who I thought had a great beard in baseball was Brian Wilson.
He did. He had Fear the Beard. Another guy that I'm pretty sure used to dye that thing.
He probably did.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Boy, what a couple of,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We don't know.
Who knows?
What a great couple of years.
Yeah.
And then
never heard from him.
Never heard from him again. He'd be one of those guys you thought would definitely have a podcast. All right. That's it.
Called Fear the Beard, huh?
Fear the Beard.
Thoughts on Brandon Marsh's beard? Gross.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
It's his hair.
Yeah.
Stringy, greasy hair.
Oh, James Harden, another one. Good beard.
True. All right. That's your Sports Six Pack Part 2. We got biggest question of the day. Next on 101 ESPN.
biggest question of the day, brought to you by Mentality. Our patients experience a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Reclaim your health at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
5:02, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Biggest question of the day is this. What was missing? What was missing with the Cardinals?
What do you mean?
Similar rosters from last season, right? Save for Matthew Liberatore, which is a huge addition to the starting rotation based on how he's pitching, right? He has severely outperformed, or significantly outperformed, I should say, Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, Victor Scott, who's been up and down, great defensively, but offensively he's been up and down.
Yeah.
What was missing from a year ago that all of a sudden are like, yeah, guys, now we're good?
Well, Matthew Liberatore, for one thing, that's a nice bump for your pitching staff to have a guy that you're rolling him out there every 5 days. And I didn't expect it, but you're expecting a victory for your team, or at least a good pitching performance by him. Alec Burleson taking big steps both at the plate and in the outfield. His numbers in the outfield have been way better than what they were in the past.
Yeah.
He's never going to be confused with a Gold Glove caliber defensive play out there.
Not with that attitude.
Oh, but I love the guy. I mean, Burley's Burley. I love the guy. He hustles. Great at the plate. Great teammate. From a roster standpoint, there's literally almost nothing different.
That's what I'm saying. So what, like, it was...
Brant Brown. I think his philosophy overall, and again, the one day when BK and Ferrario had him on, and he just broke down, like, how he goes about his business, how he works with certain guys, and not everything, there's not one blueprint that you just lay down and be like, this is what we're all doing here. Mm-hmm. He's customizing approaches for certain players, recognizing tendencies, recognizing confidence, lack of confidence, slumps, hot streaks, all of this stuff on a daily basis. And you'd have to look at the offense overall and say, man, this Cardinals offense is way better. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the deal. Like, how many times we talk about, we used to get down by 2 or 3 runs in a game, forget it.
Right.
Game's over.
You're done.
You're not turning the TV off now this year. You're not. They're down by 4 or 5 runs of the day. You're like, yeah, all of a sudden, okay.
They could come back.
Here they come. Mm-hmm. So for me, I think it's the overall offensive approach has given them a better competitive advantage in some games.
I think you got a year of experience. Mason Wynn got another year.
That's a good point.
He played last year. Victor Scott got some opportunities last year. Brendan Donovan is solidified in what role he's playing every single day. He didn't come into the season wondering where he's going to be. Alec Burleson has more experience than last year. I think that's the key component for all of this, is they got another year under their belt. And I think Brant Brown also coming in and kind of simplifying things, or giving them one thing to work on or one thing to look at, and not, being overwhelming in your approach and not having to do or try to do too many things at the plate. Simplifying it, that's generally going to give you some sort of success. Know what you're looking for and swing at that pitch when it's thrown. I think all of those things, but I think more than anything, just the experience that they gained from last year and the year before. They stunk. Last year was better. The year before was really bad. But just year after year, you get better, and hopefully, as you continue to grow as a professional athlete, your game grows, and you become more confident. I think Brendan Donovan is probably the poster child for that. He has more confidence than he's probably ever had in his entire career. That's because he's playing every single day. He knows where he's playing every day, and he has the confidence to go out there and do it. And he can take on other leadership roles because I've been here long enough now. I can have a voice. I can say what needs to be said. So I think you're getting the best version of him as well.
I wonder, too, guys, and this one, nobody can really answer, but I wonder if the lower expectations also helped.
Less pressure?
Yeah. We didn't add anybody. We're not pressing right now. It's only about youth, just everybody. You got a long runway, Matthew Liberatore, do your thing. Got a long runway, Jordan Walker, do your thing. Just hey, let's all just kind of do the best we can. Nobody really believes in us, and April.
I'm going to push back on this. I understand what you're saying.
You push all you want, Jimmy.
Yeah, I will. What about, too, and having all of us been athletes, what about if that locker room, that clubhouse, same concept. Oh, they didn't add anything, whatever. They don't believe in it. What if they're like, you know what? You read what they're saying about us?
Mm-hmm.
Blank them. Let's show them what we've got in this room.
Yeah.
Because this Cardinals team this year seems closer as a team than I've seen it in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like us against them mentality. And whenever one guy's stubbing his toe, somebody's there to try and pick him up. And like they're playing for each other. They're playing for Oli. I know people don't want to hear that, but they're playing for Oli. They're playing for Brant Brown.
Yeah.
They're playing for Dusty Blake. So maybe it's
playing
a team.
for John Mozeliak.
Maybe.
Never know. But
Possibly.
It's a team that, to your point, zero expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe felt or saw, heard everybody talking about how bad they're going to be and said, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's show everybody.
So I don't think you're pushing back. I think you're just adding.
I'm at it, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you're right. I think this is a spot where they're like, all right, well, hey, the pressure's kind of off, and now we have an opportunity to shove it where the sun don't shine. The fast lane's got our backs, but listen to what TMA is saying about us. Listen to what PK and Ferrari are saying about us. They're dogging on us consistently.
Even the wrist show.
Even the wrist show. Let's see what the fast. Let's prove the fast lane right that we're going to be a lot better than what people think.
Absolutely. We had them winning the division at the beginning of the year.
Yes, sir.
Multiple gold gloves, especially at first base.
Man.
No questions about that at all.
Silver sluggers.
That must have been when I was in
It was a no-doubter.
Hawaii.
Yes, it was.
As I was on.
I remember, Anthony, you in particular, when you said that you wouldn't be surprised if Wilson Contreras received a certain amount of gold glove votes.
Jamie, I appreciate, I wasn't going to bring that up, but I appreciate that you you have my back
crazy.
on that.
I'll be honest. I was like, man, I think he's going to be okay. But you're like, no, man, I'm telling you, watch. This guy can scoop. Watch.
Thanks, man. Yeah. And you're not crazy. No, listen,
it's okay.
It's okay. I appreciate you being a man enough to say, hey, listen, I was wrong about that. You know what I mean?
I remember.
Sometimes it takes a lot to do that, Anthony, but I'm willing to do that for this group.
Yeah, you are.
I remember Jamie on May the 4th said the Cardinals, when June 30th rolls around, they'll be the best team in the National League, best record, third best bullpen, and
totally.
I was slightly wrong, but that's okay.
No, I don't think so.
I missed all of those conversations.
Well, you're
Carey,
probably on vacation.
You're probably right.
Dr. Xander said the fast lane is probably the most negative of these shows.
Clearly, Dr.
That was very negative of you, Dr.
Yeah,
Xander.
it certainly was.
I've never seen you before, Dr. Xander.
Very negative of you.
Dr. Xander, I mentioned you before. We had the whole time travel thing going on, Right? Now you come at me with this.
I don't get it. Why the negativity from Dr.
And you know
Xander?
what? If we were negative, the Cardinals use that to become a better ball club.
Marshy,
so
inspiring them.
To your point,
inspired them would be us.
Good coaches and good parents know just how to push their kids' buttons and when to push them.
Know what to say.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
This is kind of like when...
You're welcome, St. Louis.
You're welcome, St. Louis.
We say all the right things.
This is kind of like when Jamie didn't take one of his sons to the doctors and he had a fractured foot. Or I didn't take my son to the doctors because he had a broken wrist and I didn't know about it. Guess what?
The bone's healed.
The bone's healed, and those two young men are fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, my son walks with a bit of a limp now, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Kids think it's cool.
And they're a lot better for it. It's fine.
What happened here?
Where are we?
Cardinals.
You're welcome. 511. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. Officially licensed roller jeweler.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Waterboy, I actually didn't get paid. I'm still waiting on my damn money from Brandon, though.
Yeah.
We actually haven't seen Brandon, who is a huge Cardinals fan. You think he'd be in the snake pit.
We haven't even seen, like, the fake Brandons.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, the Brandon that used fake accounts.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that.
Or the other Brandon that spells his name different.
Yeah.
Oh, we've seen him.
Who is that one person who was in the snake pit for like a day and we gave him a star?
Oh, it was bad.
And he was just never there again.
He got smoked.
Yeah,
I think he got run off of Snake Pit Island.
Yeah, they smoked him out.
It was something you had said. He didn't like it.
Oh, probably.
It didn't last long.
That wouldn't get him kicked out.
Yeah, no.
I bet you the snake pit remembers.
That would get him cheered.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, you're right.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, he was. I think he was a jerk to our girl Victoria.
Oh, yeah.
He was like misogynistic.
Yeah,
jerk.
said something crazy.
Yeah. But the snake pit.
He had to go.
They policed their own.
The snake pit took him behind the woodshed.
He had to go.
Yep. He's got to go. All right, we need a new BTS contestant. Boy, BTS has been rough for our listener ever since the one listener went off.
Yeah, that was Justin, who currently holds the record for listeners at 8. It's been tough for Nick, Shane, and Chase.
Sorry, Nick, Shane, and Chase. But we do need a new contestant for Beat the Streak, so text in 314-399-9646. If you want to play Beat the Streak, text in. You'll have an opportunity to. We'll do that. And a very interesting Bet the Board. Last day of Bet the Board.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Or
Jamie with the lead. We'll see what he does. Next on 101 ESPN.
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
streak. Yes, he did, Jamie. Yes, he did. Beat the streak time with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. And we've got Tyler on the line, newest listener. What's up, Tyler?
Hey, not a lot. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing good, man. Appreciate you playing. Marsh,
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. What are our latest streaks here, Marsh?
Yeah, Carey's got a streak of 3. He is in the lead. Anthony, you have a streak of 2. Jamie with a streak of 1.
Yeah.
I'm at 0. And, of course, we welcome Tyler to the show today.
All right, so your list here. CD, me, Jamie, Tyler, and Marshy. That's the order.
Correct.
Yeah, give me Brendan Donovan.
Nice work there, kid.
Thanks.
Nice work. Give me Brian Reynolds.
Oh, that's dirty.
Shameful.
Dirty.
Fetty's on the mop.
It's true. To me?
Yes.
Alec Burleson, please.
All right, and now Tyler.
Give me Mason Wynn.
All right.
That's a good one, too.
There you go. And Marshy.
Let's see here. I am going to go with... No.
All right. Nice work. All right, there you go. There's Beat the Streak. Tyler, hopefully you pick up a hit tonight and you'll be back tomorrow, man.
That sounds great. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
man.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
playing. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
You too. All right, that is Beat the Streak. Now it's time for Bet the Board. All right, last day for Bet the Board. And our guy Jamie is in first place. Marsh, what are the latest standings?
Jamie has 13. Anthony, you and I are tied at 11. And Carey has 6. He is eliminated. He already used his parlay.
But it was a good try.
It was a good try. Chances of me getting a 8-leg parlay is probably slim to none.
You never know.
It has happened.
It has happened. What, Jamie, what was yours the one time?
8.
Wow. Ridiculous.
Marsh, what was yours?
And Bet the Board?
Yeah. Oh, the Miami. Who was it? Miami Duke game?
Oh,
the
he
football
did have
game?
like a 4 or 5 one, didn't he?
Yes.
I did that.
But he ended up-
yes. That was early in the college football season, if I'm not
He hit all
mistaken.
It was Miami.
Yeah. Did he hit all of them?
Yeah,
I thought he missed one.
No. It was the Miami game. He loaded up. Miami was down by like 20 points.
They played Cal.
Was it Cal?
Was
I
it
thought
that
it was
game?
Duke.
Oh, maybe
I thought
it was Duke. Yeah, it was in November.
Miami's down by like 20, and they were laying 20. Came all the way back, and Marsh hit all of them. Yeah. It's crazy. All right, Jamie.
All right. Give me Logan Webb and the San Francisco Giants on the money line, minus 148. And that's it.
Okay.
Just one.
Yeah.
You want me to give you an extra one? I can help
No,
you.
I don't need anything from you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
You don't trust me?
No, I just, strategy here, because now Anthony's got to at least go 4. You got to assume I'm going to hit this one, so he's got to go 4.
It's easy money.
And if I don't get this one, then it's easier for him.
So who's going first? Is it me?
Marsh
It
is.
doesn't really.
Marsh is going first.
I was the one with 11, and then you then got to 11.
So it's you.
But I'm in the position where I'd rather not go first, so.
You're going first.
All right, give me Matt Waldron, 4+ Ks tonight at minus 140. Logan Webb, 6+ Ks tonight at minus 135. Alec Burleson, 2+ total bases at minus 110. And I had written on here the San Francisco Giants to win tonight, the money line at minus 136 or whatever it is now.
48.
148.
Just in time.
Justin Turner. All right. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
I'm going to take The Yankees over 4.5 runs tonight against Mama River's Toronto Blue Jays. I'm going to take the over 8.5 in that same game. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Pirates over 4.5 runs against that trash can Eric Fetty.
My goodness.
Anthony, we're the most positive show.
Man, that's why Dr. Xander said we're the most negative
in this building.
I'm starting to see Dr. Sanders' point.
And I'm going to take the San Francisco Giants minus 150 on the money line.
I would hate for the Giants to lose, and then you all lose as well, and he wins because you chose his pick.
He didn't choose. Yeah, I had mine written down since 3 o'clock.
They both chose my pick.
It's a great play. Now, are they hitting right now? No. Did they just lose 2 of 3 to the White Sox? Yes.
They got the old Diamondbacks.
But they got the old Diamondbacks and got their ace, Logan Webb, on the hill.
Here's the thing. Jamie doesn't want his pick to hit.
No, I don't care at all.
He's good either way.
Yep.
Doesn't want
his pick. Honestly, his pick is kind of irrelevant at this point because it's just,
Anthony,
we have to hit
my
ours.
mom told me a long time ago I'm not irrelevant.
No, not you, Jamie.
I thought you
Your
worded
pick.
that was a little bit mean.
No, Jamie, all you have to be is
In
you.
fact, I hope my mom is listening right now. You know what'll happen. She'll text me and I'll show you.
Yeah, she'll text you that she loves me and she's a fantastic woman. She knows.
That's a nice tray. Nice tray. Mom, don't be fooled.
So
Don't be fooled by Jamie.
There's a chance that we could tie.
And then we have to go to a tie-off.
Tie-off. Never heard of that.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Is that where two people, that would be funny. Hear me out. We don't even pick anybody. We both bring in ties. The first person to tie their tie wins.
I'm in.
The tie-off.
I don't want to do a tie-off with Jamie.
I'm in.
Well, no, it would be between me and you.
Oh, man.
We virtually, we cannot tie with him. We either win or he wins.
But it's got to be, like, done appropriately. Like, you can't just tie it. And then it's
it gotta
like,
look good.
It's still.
It's got to be.
It's gotta be Jamie
the
the
right
right
lane in the middle of the belt.
The right
buckle.
lane.
Yeah. The belly button. Right?
Oh, no, that's a little short.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how big your torso is.
No, it really doesn't.
Typically, you got to go at least to the top of the belt.
You want the tip at least down to the top of the belt.
You guys care if I pick or no?
Yes, well, of course we do.
I forgot.
Do you know why? Do you know why we care about you?
Sorry, Carey. You look so young, I forgot who was over here next to me.
In fact, I looked up, I go, ha! Who are you?
Well, in fairness, his beard looks different.
Yeah, it looks great.
All right, this is a new year, new me.
Carey looks fantastic
this,
right now.
Did you show
Remember that
this
wrestler, Bad News Brown?
Yeah, I do.
That's who you might be of right now.
Did you text your girl?
I FaceTimed her after the first segment.
And
she goes,
She liked it. She
yeah,
said,
she does.
baby.
She's like, oh, you look good.
She's like, you tell those fast lane guys thank you.
Thank you. Tell Jamie and Anthony, thank you.
You know that guy that just got paid today, Evan Bouchard? Thank that guy for all the turnovers he had in that series.
Why did he ever?
Snap.
It's like
Aaron
he's making
Judge.
$10 million a year.
Hits, runs, RBIs. Aaron Judge.
Oh, yeah.
1.5 hits, runs.
All right, we'll write that
RBI.
one down.
Yep.
That will be the only one that hits tomorrow.
Yes.
Or
Not that
tonight.
it matters.
Yep. It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
Carey, you matter.
For pride.
You matter.
Pride.
Now,
What
even,
Anthony says, you matter.
even if you hit, will you still be batting last in July? Sure. But that doesn't matter.
Yeah, you know, I might get picked first.
Yeah, that's right. Just never know.
You do.
You seem kind of scared about tying the tie.
He did. He did. You saw that? He's like, tie. Yeah.
I have a touch.
Fast.
Yeah. No, you think, because you don't know how to tie. It's actually, I got a touch of OCD with it. Like, everything's got to be.
Redo it.
I got to redo it
definitely gotta lose.
6,000
Coming
times.
every day in a suit would have been a really good punishment.
I'm serious, man. Nope.
Well, that's a punishment added to.
Too short.
I'm
too
telling you a
long.
secret.
Yeah.
There's some nights when we're on road trips and I just don't care because the camera doesn't pan down to my waist.
Oh, yeah. You got the jacket. I bet that.
I'm like, it don't matter. I'm walking around and be like, hey, your tie's a little short. I know. Thanks, Tips. Thanks, Tips. Ask me if I care. It's been 10 days since I've been home.
Look at me. I'm a mess. All right. Can you? I asked this in the opening segment today. Can you accept the hot and cold streaks that come with Nolan Gorman, and just say, "Hey, this is who he is. Hot and cold, no problem. We're good." Or do you still expect him and need him to be like the prospect that you thought he was going to be? And if not, if you fall short of that, and get rid of him. We'll have the discussion next on 101 ESPN.
Circus Sports Las Vegas, man, they've got so many exciting things going on out there. Make sure you get out to the casino and register for one of their premium contests. They've got Circa Million going on and Circa Survivor. There's a total of $21 million in guaranteed prizes. It's unbelievable. And my buddy Derek Stevens, who owns all of that, wants everybody to know there's no rake. So if entries go above the guaranteed money line, all the extra money goes into the prize pool. That's because Circus Sports want to make sure that their customers are treated the right way. And they always take care of everyone, which is why they've put one of the best apps out there in the palm of your hand. Circus Sports Illinois, the app. In fact, it is the best app when it comes to odds. Compare it to any of the other ones that are out there, and you will see that Circus Sports has the best odds, and that means bigger payouts for you as well. They've got tight money line splits, great lines on all their futures, bets, high betting limits, and just a lot of fun using the app. So please don't miss out on the action. You can download the app, bet like a pro with your Circus Sports Illinois app today, and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone, may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals expected to take on the Pirates tonight. However, due to inclement weather, the start of tonight's game has been delayed. Eric Fetty on the mound going up against Andrew Haney. First pitch was supposed to be at 5:40, but now the game has been delayed. If you have missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you will find all of our shows there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Nolan Gorman hit a home run yesterday. Can you accept the hot and cold streaks with Nolan Gorman? We'll discuss that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
So March has talked about it in the Sports Center update. Nolan Gorman this month has turned things around. Where are my notes here? In 75 at-bats, he's hitting .267 with 6 home runs and 16 driven in. In April and May, Gorman, combined, those 2 months, in 86 at-bats, had a 162 average, no home runs, because the one home run was in March, no home runs, and 8 RBI. So he has doubled his RBI production in the month of June compared to where he was the previous 2 months. 6 more home runs and a higher batting average overall. But my question is, and I asked you guys this, I think, in the start of the show. This is kind of Nolan Gorman, right? The hot and the cold streaks. Can you live with that?
How many home runs is he going to hit?
He might hit 6 in a month and then go 0 and then go another 6 and then
How many on the year?
Total
18.
How many is he an everyday starter or is he a platoon bat?
Every day.
If he's an everyday starter, he's going to hit you 28 home runs.
Okay. So I'm okay with that based on what I'm seeing from the Cardinals' other players and their production this year. And the Cardinals getting on base at a pretty good clip this season, which means whenever Gorman runs into one, it's going to be a crooked number. And if that's the case, I'm fine with it. If you're relying solely, like a couple of years ago, the Cardinals relied solely upon Goldschmidt and Arenado. That was it. And you can't win that way. Now that you have Burleson, Wynn, Donovan, Arenado hitting the ball at a decent clip, like Contreras, you have all these other pieces in your lineup that are hitting the ball. So now if you've got Gorman, who strikes out at the same rate that he always does, but then when he runs into one, he's got a guy or two on base, that blows up the game for you. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think I'm not that okay with it. I think the when it's like this, you're very happy about what he's capable of doing. But when it's not, when it's gopher, and not driving the ball, not driving in runs, missing opportunities, I think that's a bit problematic. So I think you would prefer to have some more consistency. And if you get more consistency where you're not having months where you're only hitting 1 home run in 2 months, and then you open up for 6 in June, I think it's a little bit frustrating if you can't get a little bit more consistency there. I think he needs to be a guy in the middle of your lineup, at his best, middle of your lineup bat, and hitting 35 home runs.
What if he's not, though? What if he's not hitting in the middle of your lineup?
Then I don't think you need that player. I think you can find something, because what does he provide? Defensively, there are upgrades on the defensive end,
right,
as opposed to, so if his bat isn't, it's kind of like what we talk about with Ivan Herrera. You accept him not being a catcher. Why? because he's going to hit the damn ball.
Yeah.
And he's going to hit it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
If Nolan Gorman isn't a consistent hitter, what other element does he provide? You accept Mason Wynn and Victor Scott because, well, if he doesn't hit, they play the field well.
Sure.
So if you don't do one thing well or the other thing well, then you're really taking up a space for somebody else.
Absolutely. But this hypothetical is about, you're not going to get consistent play. You're going to get scorching hot play for a month and then frigid production for a month. Are you okay with that?
I think that's problematic.
At the end of the year, the numbers are all there. Like if I say like 28 home runs, you guys are all good with that, right?
I think it's problematic because which version do you get in the playoffs?
That I don't know, but we don't know what version we're going to get out of anybody.
But if your mindset is he's going to be hot for a month and then cold for a month and a half, what if that cold spell runs right in the middle of the end of September, beginning of October?
What if the cold spell goes for Alec Burleson or Brendan Donovan? I mean, any player can get cold in the playoffs.
You could, but I would trust their track record a little bit more as opposed to a guy that has shown me. It's like, why are you mad? He showed you all season long that he was inconsistent. That's your fault.
What if the hot streak is in the postseason?
Well, damn it, let's ride.
That's why I think it's interesting, right? It's a flip of the coin.
Yeah.
And I really, this question is based off of like people being frustrated with Gorman. It kind of reminds me of Colton Parayko a little bit. Like Colton Parayko, people for the longest time had issues with Colton Parayko not being who?
Alex Pietrangelo.
Or
Jay Ballmeister.
Or
Chris Pronger.
Chris Pronger, thank you.
Pronger, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so that's right. Like, they had such an issue with him not being Chris Pronger that they were overlooking the fact that, like, man, this is a really good defenseman that does so many great things. Now, Gorman is not on the level of Parayko. Like, Parayko is one of your best players, period. Gorman is not.
He's an elite player.
Yeah, but my point is, can you move past... Well, he's supposed to be a top prospect. Top prospect's got to hit in the middle of the lineup. But what if he is just a big home run hitting machine that will strike out a ton? You're going to have to deal with the cold streaks as well. And he's going to hit about 6th or 7th in your lineup. But boy, when he's hot, he could take over an entire month for you.
Well, Anthony, that's not how this works. Oh. And I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Oh, how does it work?
No, you get drafted in a certain spot. You're supposed to be that guy. Like, I keep hearing that Jordan Walker is Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward hit 293 when he was here. Had an OPS of 797. You take that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Jason Hayward was terrible. He was terrible.
What?
That's what they say.
He was terrible in April, but Jason Hayward had a really good career.
I hear all the time
really good
how Jason Hayward was terrible here. And so if you're not projected, if you're not a middle of the lineup bat and you were drafted in the first round, damn it, you're wasting everybody's time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they'll tell you about Nolan Gorman. That's what they'll tell you about Jordan Walker. You haven't been. You've been listening. Have you been paying attention?
I thought I was.
Okay. Just asking. Sometimes he doesn't pay attention.
What are you mad at?
Yeah, who are you mad? That's a good question.
I'm happy.
It's not the beard anymore. I think he likes the beard. So what's the deal?
You guys told me, hey, you're going to look good.
And you do.
With a black beard.
You do.
Thank you.
Did we lie to you?
No, you didn't.
So what's your problem?
I don't have a problem. I am St. Louis.
There's stank on it.
What I was projecting was my St. Louis fandom. Right? I was no longer Carey.
Oh, I got you.
St. Louis fandom from the Dodgers guy.
Well, no. I'm a St. Louis fan. I was given Anthony
into that role.
I stepped into the body of a St. Louis fan.
I got you.
You stepped into Anthony's body?
No, I didn't get in his body.
You entered Anthony?
Weird movie. Nah.
Don't you?
Anthony, you let him enter like that?
Well, it was a machine, and it switched.
I chose not to.
Went through the temples there.
I chose not to. But I was entering my fandom, my St. Louis fandom, and I was showing Anthony how us St. Louisans respond if you are drafted in a certain spot and you're not producing to the level that I expect you to, even though I never played baseball a day in my damn life.
So us St. Louisans, are you saying that to Anthony and I because we're not originally from St. Louis? Is that another shot at us?
No, you're taking it in a different way.
Well, it's just the way you looked at me and you said, us St. Louisans, like you playing it yourself, like you don't belong here.
Wow.
To me.
I even heard you're not even from this country. That's what Carey said.
It was Trojan horsed in there.
He said it with his eyes.
Wow. So I just don't understand where you're going with this. But
I'm just saying.
Hey, Carey, you know what? I won't
step into any more St. Louisans. I'll just stay in my own body. Won't enter anyone else.
First of all, that would be appreciated.
Yeah. I won't enter anyone else.
No, please don't.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I love
you.
You good on this toxic manipulation? Are we good?
Yep.
All right.
Good to go.
What?
What we learned, 3 stars of the day next on 101 ESPN. missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available on 101ESPN.com or your Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Podcast, of course, brought to you by Shave Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned, starting with Jamie Rivers.
Yeah, I learned today that Bill Zito, the general manager of the Florida Barry's cousin on his dad's side.
Sure.
You're Barry.
I am Barry. We're not related, though.
Jamie Barry.
Not yet. Anyways, I learned that Bill Zito is basically rewriting the book on how to be a GM in the National Hockey League as he gets Ekblad and Marchand and Sam Bennett to re-sign with the Florida Panthers. 3 Stanley Cup finals in a row, back-to-back Stanley Cup championships, yet he's not good enough to be GM of the year in the National Hockey League.
No, that's correct.
Yeah. That honor went to Jim Nill, who's a hell of a guy, but Bill Zito doing a pretty good job.
I would say so. Carey.
I learned not to go into the final day of the month in dead last and bet the board because your teammates don't give a damn about your picks.
It's not true.
They don't give a damn. They don't even care if you
cared.
pick.
It just didn't matter.
Sent you all a group text.
We don't give a damn.
Just so you all can keep track of my bet for the night. You know?
Yes.
We care.
Nah, you don't care.
Marshy.
I learned that it takes 5 to 10 minutes for men to kick in and start working. I learned that today.
I learned that even though it's rule number 44 in the fast lane, half of the fast lane roster will not do the Jason Isringhouse chant. And that broke my heart today, if I'm going to be honest.
It hurt. I'm sure Izzy's hurt, too.
I'm sure.
We give love to Izzy.
Nah, it's on your terms. Doesn't work that way.
No, we do. The question was asked, and we answered, and you all didn't agree with our answer.
Nah, it's not
No,
that.
it's not. It wasn't that we didn't
do the whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you all were saying it like that was the only answer.
No,
and
we just, no matter when
Marshy
we
and
talk
I-
about Izzy, Carey, we just chant his name.
Yes.
You want to do it now?
No, it
it's
doesn't
not.
feel
No,
right.
it doesn't feel good at all. No matter how hard you're trying, it just
Really?
doesn't feel good, Carey.
Yeah.
You needed to feel good?
I prefer it to, yes.
It. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Marshy?
Bet you feel that way.
From 636, thank you to Carey for making me laugh out loud when Anthony said that the Blues had locked up Hofer.
Yeah.
You guys can always make me laugh. Thanks.
Well, we're glad to
wanted to
hear he's
clarify.
just had his contract extended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They locked
Carey
Hofer up.
said, what'd he do?
Gator.
The Gators are.
Oh.
Yeah, Gator says, Lee. It's just not as fun.
No, it really isn't.
Even,
Although
even
a
this
great pitcher.
Great pitcher. Never said he wasn't.
Yeah, agreed.
Ever.
Tanisha says, great show, fellas. CD and Marshy rock the Ryan Day Challenge. Everyone have a good night.
We do appreciate it.
So Carey's kids came a little early, and they didn't recognize, or they didn't see at all that Carey had anything different about him.
I literally looked at my son and said, look at my face.
Yeah.
Do you see anything different? He's like, huh? What?
You said, what, you got a booger?
Your face? What's wrong with your head? Something wrong with your head? You okay? What's going on? He said, you don't see my face? He's like, no, what are you talking about? I even turned the light on in the office. Like, look at my face. They're like, what are you talking about?
They're like, this is a trick question.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. Don't answer.
Don't answer.
Don't answer.
He's trying to fool us. We're in trouble somehow.
That just means we need to redo it.
Nah, got your money's worth out of the Just for Men. It's all gone, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Marsha threw it away.
I almost kept it.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I almost kept it.
I think you made the right call there.
Marsh was hanging on to that.
Marsh was going to hang on to it. He's like, well, maybe if so, and I saw him take it in a paper towel from the bathroom, and he's going to.
Somebody threw the box away.
All I'm thinking was, where is he going to put that in the office? Like, is he just going to put it on his desk? He's just going to have it there just in case?
Yeah.
Just for men, just in case?
Yeah. He knows Carey's going to want to go back to the well for that.
Yeah. And then Marsh at the last second goes, you know what, I'm not going to hang out of it. And he threw it away. Good call on that, Marsh.
Well, thank you, Anthony. Let's see what else do we have here. This one's from Justin. No sports show ahead of the fast lane. Number 1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you.
Justin.
Nice. All right, you guys ready for the 3 stars of the day?
Yes.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right, our 3rd star of the day goes out to us for being the most positive show on 101 ESPN when it comes to your St. Louis Cardinals.
Sir. Specifically when it comes to the Wilson Contreras move to first base. But also that they were going to be much better than anybody thought.
Our 2nd star of the day goes out to Just for Men.
Yeah.
Jet black beard guy for being specific.
Call you?
Just for men. Nah, if they.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
say no. Yeah. I support that.
Yeah.
Call me.
And, Carey and I really fast-laned up earlier today for about a couple minutes. Our 1st star of the day is going to go out to Izzy.
Was your mic even on?
Are you? What's going on, Carey?
I said
Are you serious?
It
I
was a
set
delay.
that up so we can all
It
do
was a
it
delay.
again.
I did it.
He was Milli Vanilli in it over here.
Yeah, for a second.
Yeah, you were like,
What?
I don't know what's going on.
Serious?
There was a delay.
I saw his lips moving.
Yeah.
I
But there's
literally was
no
saying
sound.
the words.
Go back, listen to the audio. We're going to isolate it.
Yeah, do that.
You won't hear Carey's voice.
I said the words.
No, you did it for the cameras, what you did.
Izzy. I said it.
What's going on, man?
I don't know. I don't know what you all heard.
Here I was going to get Izzy on the show here soon.
You all were
I
hearing
hope you
things.
still do.
I don't know. It was Carey's
When
attitude.
Carey's off. No,
Carey, when's your next day off?
Carey loves Izzy.
A couple weeks.
All right. Just let me know.
See if I can get Lee Smith on as well.
Nice. Yes, absolutely.
Get them on together.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
That'd be big time awesome. All right. We've got instant replay coming up tonight from 6 to 7. No updates on the Cardinals Pirates. The rain delay right now.
I don't like that.
You all
like
got
that at
Cards
all.
Pirates in your
I
in
do.
your
I got
parlay?
Pirates over 4.5 runs.
Yeah, he's got Eric Fetty getting lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yes, I do.
Oh.
In a Cardinals victory, of course.
No, you didn't pick the Cardinals to
You
win.
didn't pick the Cardinals
You
to
didn't
win.
pick them to win.
I'm saying it
Pick
now.
Ryan Reynolds.
You didn't pick them to
Yeah.
win. In fact,
the streak?
from a betting standpoint, you don't care if they win tonight.
That's
as
not
long as
true.
they give up 5 runs.
That's not true.
That's totally true.
I want them to win 10-5.
It's a lie. You would have bet on them then.
5 runs given up by Eric Fetty.
Of course. Can't bet on them when their starting pitcher is actively rooting for the Pirates. You know? Allegedly. Not allegedly. I'm just joking. James Marsh for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.